Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Full Metal Demon Muramasa. We most recently left our hero while he was fighting in the sky against Sorimachi. That one move got pulled. I don't remember what it's called, but shit's going badly. I can in fact go back in this one. I can go back after reloading the game. A lot of visual novels do not let you do that. If you load a save, they just tell you to screw off, your history is gone. So Sorimachi flies up, and our character who's like learned everything there is to know about sword fighting doesn't realize that you can just turn around if you're above someone and go stab them, which is what happened. So he's of the impression he's losing super hard now. So, during the Great War, which raged from 1914 to 1918, the German Empire boasted a number of pilots who were feared for their mastery of aerial combat. Oberlieutenant Max Immelmann was one of these aces. Kagayaki's in trouble because it's an Immelmann turn, right? I think that's what they said. Is what it is. Let's dive into the story and figure out how Kagayaki gets through this. As his lack of a titular von indicates, Max Immelmann was not a noble, and therefore he did not possess a blood crux or a Shinichi tsurugi. This made him an irregularity among the aces of his time. Kazuuchi, red cruxes, had only just been invented at the turn of the century, and their capabilities were nothing compared to what they are today. Even his beloved Fokker E3, with its revolutionary wire-supported single-wing design, was a long way from matching the mystical power of true cruxes. How do you take L's with a goddamn cursed Crimson Tsurugi? You be Kagayaki and refuse to kill people. That's what you do. There was no question that Immelmann was at a severe disadvantage. Why did they change from one end to two ends? Yeah, there's one N here. Right? There's one N here, Immelmann. And then there's Immelmann. Like, you have to, you have to have both ends. The difference between one N and two N's does matter. That's definitely a typo. Alright. So, he was at a severe disadvantage when compared to other aces of the war. After all, all warriors from noble bloodlines who soared gallantly above the battlefield were in their ancient and mighty armor. To make matters worse, the Western Front, where he was stationed, was opposed by the most elite of France's militia, knights in the Western nomenclature, while nearly all of Germany's knights had been sent east to battle Russia. Immelmann and his allies were but puny dragoons, their enemies masters of the deadliest weapons the world had ever known, and survival alone would have been a Herculean task. Yet Max Immelmann was not only survived, but became a legend of his time. To understand how, we must look back to a fateful encounter from his youth. After the Tokugawa period came to an end, Yamato sought to make up for centuries of isolation by assimilating cultural knowledge and culture from the West. All the Western powers were used as models for modernization, but the greatest influence on Yamato's military came from Prussia, Germany. Did they give Max long hair? I assume that's what it is in the background, right? At the time, the Emperor's ministers had determined Germany possessed the strongest army in Europe, and they dispatched teams of experts and scholars with orders to learn all they could. One of those experts who came to Germany was none other than Sasuke Junzo, the 16th master of the Onoha Itoryu. Sasuke met the young Immelmann by coincidence and began instructing him in the Itoryu. When Immelmann's genius became apparent, Sasuke even went so far as to teach him the school's greatest secrets. Whether he was impulsive or generous is up for debate, but when he returned to Yamato and was harshly criticized for having surrendered what was in essence a national treasure, Sasuke Junzo answered thusly: "The man who learns but does not teach is a thief. I've learned much from the German warriors, and in gratitude taught a young man what I could." Respect, respect. Pictures of Max Immelmann. Yeah, he's got short hair, which is the style of the time and basically required if you're in the military. Yep. But remember, these are Musha. We are wearing suits of power armor. Hair is irrelevant. So is fashion. It magically bonds to you. Especially important as a pilot? Absolutely. Or as anyone wearing a gas mask. Rudimentary though they were, right? That said, Sasuke himself likely never imagined that Immelman would put his teachings to use. For while the 5 secrets of the Ito-ryu have been passed down for generations, not one successor since Itosai ever succeeded in translating that knowledge into technique. The wisdom they contained was simply too difficult to understand. By Sasuke's time, their transmission had become merely a formality before a disciple could receive full certification. So basically, they were storing knowledge they couldn't use. And, okay. But then, one night when the fighting was at its most hopeless and he struggled in vain to shake an enemy knight, Max Immelmann had recalled the instruction he received in his childhood, and drawing upon his genius restored a fragment of lost majesty. The Konjicho Ken, a split-second turn off a steep vertical zoom climb followed by a free-falling gravity-powered strike, a technique whereby one may overturn even the most overwhelming odds. And so this technique became Immelmann's sword. With it he struck night after night from the skies of Europe and astonished enemy and ally alike. Upon his death in 1918, he had slain a total of 17 warriors representing the very best of French nobility. Man, France is getting their world rocked. His technique was invincible, demonic, what we in Yamato call Maken. It vanished with him, but to this day, there's not one Musha has not dreamt of that fearsome shade returning from beyond the final horizon to rule the skies once more. And drenched in sweat, awoken, crying its name. Damn, that's intense. Not one person who's not dreamt of that happening and woke up covered in sweat, crying its name? Damn, alright. Alright, I don't know if Kageyaki is just talking about himself, but man, just imagining that everyone who's ever piloted a Musha wished they could do that. That's pretty impressive. The Immelmann turn. Okay. And what are you gonna do? You know... Oh, Kev. Muramasa's voice is distant, impossible to make out. My sight is an impenetrable curtain of red. I calmly assess the damage. Mortal. It's a mystery I'm alive, assuming that is, that they aren't the fleeting... Last thoughts? Last thoughts of a fleeting soul? Yeah, we're probably gone. The Immelmann turn. I never imagined I would encounter such a relic. They say Max Immelmann had no successors and his technique was his alone. Its loss, while regretted, is considered only natural. Who else could possess the sheer talent necessary to maintain total control during stall? And yet to think. I gotta say I'm impressed. I didn't think he would throw twice in one day, but here we are. I mean, we know he's doing it on purpose, so I can't really feel too bad that he's in trouble. Sorimachi Ichizo, to think a man like this existed. I mean, Sorimachi Ichizo literally is just exposing himself to death because he knows that Kageyaki won't kill him. It's like it's the funniest shit. He's like, oh no, I'm dying. And it's like, you literally refuse to defeat your opponent. I'm not sure what you expect. My vision dims. Am I still climbing? Only a second's passed since taking the hit. Or maybe I'm falling and haven't realized it. I have no way to tell. But one thing is clear. Sorimachi is coming. Coming for me. Is he instead just panicking? He's low on energy, though. It would be really funny if he actually just sat there panicking because the guy did a trick on him. The world shakes and tumbles, yet I barely feel it. Oh, his energy is back up. There's no pain. I must have suffered a grave wound somewhere, but no signals reaching my brain. Have I gone numb already, or is my brain itself suffering damage? Greyout, the Musha's last warning to make peace with his gods. When a pilot experiences Greyout, it means his heat stores are catastrophically low. The last dregs of warmth are leaving me together with my blood. While I can barely see, my hearing is still damnably clear and a voice reaches me across the sky.
何度でも言ってやるぜ。てめえはくだらねえ半端野郎だ。
I'll say it again in case you weren't listening. You're a worthless, half-assed piece of shit. Okay. We're at school and it's free time, boyos. Time for some Demon Muramasa, of course. Sorry, Machi. I guess we're doing another duel in the air. We ain't quite fighting a giant yet.
なんでか？てめえはいやいややってるじゃねえか。
Wanna know why? 'Cause you hate it.
あの村で子供を殺した時も、この間サーキット場の騒動の後で殺した時もそうだ。
I watched you kill in the hut on the mountain. I watched you kill after the mess at the track.
てめえは嫌だ嫌だって体で言いながら殺してやがった。
I could tell you hated every second of it, but you killed them anyway.
なあ
Didn't you? But he can't even kill this guy, right? Am I right? Man, for someone who's apparently super dead, he's taken a long-ass time to die. He got hit again there.
本当はこんなことやりたくねえんだって。本音が透けて見えてたぜ。
I could see you shaking under your armor. I could smell the piss and tears.
嫌ならやらなきゃいいだろうがよ。
If you hate it so much, don't do it.
意地悪じいさんを殺さなけりゃ、正直じいさんも殺さなくて済むんだろ？何もしなきゃいいんだよ。
If you don't kill the bad guys, you don't gotta kill the good guys. Why don't you stop? I mean, I kind of agree with that. What is he doing even fighting the giant mech at this point? When they could have just fled at full speed. He clearly intends to fight him, but he doesn't intend to kill him, so they can just make another one? At best, he'll just cause some damage to the Rokuhara, and then they'll fucking hate him and be actively hunting him. It just seems like it's all downside for him. Oh well.
貴様は
Oh no.
知らない。なあ
Huh?
何も知らないだけだ。
You don't know a damn thing.
俺がやらねばならないのだ。
I have to do it. My feelings,
嫌だからやら
they
ね
don't
で。
matter.
俺がやらねば。
My duty.
じゃあどんな話だってんだ。てめえ様がそいつをやってくださらないと、この世が滅びてしまいますってか？
What, you don't take care of Ginseigo, the whole world ends? That's it?
いいじゃねえか。てめえにしか救えねえ。でもてめえはそれをやりたくねえ。てんならさ。
So what if you're the only one who can? If you don't want to, it's simple.
見捨てちまえよ。笑いながら。なあ。
Forget about it. Kick back, relax, and let the world die.
そう。
He wants to say Sona, but he can't. He doesn't have the strength. What are you
ど
saying?
っちだっていいんだよ。救おうと、見捨てようと。
Save the world, end it, it's all the same to me.
どっちだっていいけどよ。てめえで納得してからやれよ。
Just make
Nah.
sure you're squared with it. You squared it with yourself first, right? But I have to do it. Ginseigo and its eggs, only Muramasa and I can stop them. So I keep killing.
納得はしている。
I accept it. Do you
し
now?
てねえよ。してたらなんで泣きやめだ。
Bullshit, then why were you crying? What are you crying for, buddy?
泣いてなどいない。
I wasn't crying. How could I have been? I have no tears, no right to tears.
泣いてたさ。みっともなくな。
You were crying like a baby. His contempt is palpable. I can practically feel the spit on my face. About Itoryu. The third unit captain of the Shinsengumi, Sato Hachime, used it and was said to be the most talented swordsman of the Shinsengumi. And here I thought he was formless and didn't have a sword style. The more you learn.
人間みんなやりてえことやって生きてる。そりゃそうだ。どんな奴だって自分のことしかわからねえんだからな。
People only do what they want to do and people do it? I gotta repeat that to myself. People do what they want to do and only what they want to do. I mean, can't get inside another guy's head, right? Not really. I mean, there's lots of things you don't necessarily want to do that you'll do.
他人のことなんてよくわからねえ。だから自分のやりてえようにやる。
You only know your own desires, and that's what you've got to follow.
てめえで考えて、てめえで納得したことをやる。みんなそうやって真面目に生きたら。
So we think about it and think about it, and when we're satisfied it's what we want, we do it. That's how people, serious people live.
おかげで世の中面白い。今みたく生きがたい世情だと、みんな余計に真剣だしな。
And that's what makes this world so interesting. In hard times like these, everyone's dead serious about everything. Yep.
付き合ってみてもぶつかってみても、みんな生きることに反発ってもんがねえからいい。
Living with all these people struggling
楽しい奴らだ。
just to make their way, fighting them, scheming with them, and just watching them. It's so much fun.
てめえだけだよ。
You're the only one.
自分で納得もしてねえことをやってやがる。おちゃらけた野郎はてめえだけだ。
The only one who's doing what he'd rather
しやがって。
cut his own balls off than do. You silly motherfucker. I don't know, I think he's making a joke out of the whole Musha combat situation, considering he half-asses everything, and does phenomenally well at everything. I mean, we don't know how well he could do if he was actually trying, but he might actually be able to come first in the Grand Prix against Racing Cruxes. Because they left that much room for error. There was so much room for him to absolutely fucking crush it. Like, even the starting part, no one got lapped until they intentionally let themselves get lapped. Meaning, even the 20 seconds or whatever to change hardware, he could have skipped and just won the fucking race. Like, depending on how long it takes to change. Since in the 40s, pit stops were not optimized to 3 seconds. There's a non-zero chance that just skipping the pit stop in real time, because the laps are only 1:30, could have, no joke, actually put him in first place for the rest of the race. Or at least made him a contender for the podium. Like, I said, like, you know, at 3 seconds, considering how close he is to them, he probably could have gotten, like, to 12th from 15th. The real number, if it's like 20 seconds to change hardware like that, could actually be like a third of a lap, and he could just straight up pass. He could straight up just like catapult himself to third, try a little bit harder, and get first. Oh well.
興ざめするんだよ。
Making me sick, having a guy like you around, a man with strength to spare, who doesn't take things seriously when everyone else does, or at least doesn't give his all.
それで、てめえが一人でどっかに引っ込んでるってんならまあいいさ。てめえの勝手だよ。
I wouldn't be saying this if you just fucked off somewhere. You got nothing you want to do, that's your business.
だがてめえは殺しやがる。
But you killed them.
いやいやながら殺しやがる。
You killed them.
あのガキども、あの姉妹よ。いやいやながら殺しやがった。
You killed those kids, those little girls, and you didn't even want to. This much is true. He's still not dying. He should be, like, super dead. Every time we've seen someone completely disabled in the air, they get, like, killed in, like, 1 second.
ふざけんじゃねえ!
Who the fuck do you think you are? Someone with loads of strength to spare.
いやいやながらで、やったやつ自身が納得もしてねえような理由で、殺されちまった方の身になりやがれ。ああ
You ever think what it's like, huh? To die for something the asshole killing you ain't even serious about? How stupid that's gotta feel? Yeah, it probably feels like, getting murdered because you just happened to be walking down the street on the wrong day and were in front of someone that just casually didn't stop for the stop sign because they weren't in the mood for it. Yeah.
バカバカしくてしょうがねえだろうが
How the fuck are you supposed to rest in peace like that? That's true. Sorimachi makes some good points. Let's see if Kageaki comes up with something that'll satisfy himself. Where am I? I can no longer hear the wind, nor even my tsurugi's voice. And yet, by some trick of the gods, my enemy's words are as clear as ever.
てめえは何者だ英雄か悪鬼か凡人か
What are you, a hero? A demon? A regular guy?
英雄じゃねえな英雄だったら殺すときは堂々と殺すさ必要な犠牲だって割り切って真っ向から相手の目を見て切り殺すだろうぜ
I still like the use they make out of their 3D models in this game. While they don't look as good as their 2D stuff, the fact that they're 3D and able to pose them enables them to do things like this combat where the guy gets closer or swings at different angles, and it really works out. I think it really works out. Like, it's a good use of their 3D. Have this stuff happening because it does look like something's approaching. And they actually just change its size or reorient it or whatever if they need to, right? They're getting lots of utility out of the generic Kazuuchi model too. You're no hero. If you were, you'd look him in the eye when you kill him. You'd hold your head up high because you'd know what you were doing was right.
てめえはとてもそんな器じゃね
But you don't have what it takes. Right you are. I'm no hero,
えじゃあ悪鬼か
So you're a demon. A demon, yes, I'm a demon.
違うな悪鬼だったら嫌そうに殺したりしねえよ嬉しそうに笑って
But you're no
殺す
demon.
さ
A demon wouldn't cry, he'd kill with a smile while laughing his ass off. You're wrong. Smiles, laughter, none of it matters. They're not what makes a demon.
じゃあなんだ凡人か
What's that leave? A regular guy?
そうだよ
That's it. That's what you are. Even a regular guy would have his decisions would fall behind his regular decision, right? His own decision, right? A regular guy, a good, honest human being.
てめえはまともな人間だよ親からちゃんとした教育受けてちゃんとした道徳とか身につけたんだろ
You're a regular guy, raised by loving parents who taught you right from wrong.
だから殺すのがそんなに嫌なんだろうが
That's why you hate killing so much, ain't it?
英雄でも悪鬼でもねえしそんなのに関わり合って生きてる人間でもねえ
You're
普通
no,
に市政で暮らしていける器だ
you're neither a hero nor a demon. You don't belong in that world. You're the guy with a job, a family, a normal life in a normal town.
てめえもそれが一番いいんだろ
Tell me that ain't what you want.
そうしてりゃよかったんだよクソがいらねえ無理しやがって
Should have stayed on your side of the fence, but no, oh no, couldn't have that.
汗水垂らして働いて家族を養って日々を過ごすてめえがそうして何がいけね
Shiro will appear to trace an entire tsurugi to become a hero of justice. A Shiro in this setting would absolutely do that. Why couldn't she work the farm, get married, and do the sort of thing normal guys do? Why'd you go and throw it away?
えせっかくまっとうに育ってまともな人間になったんだからよ
You had a chance to live right, and you wasted it. No. I feel blood course through my veins, and my vision regains a tiny bit of clarity. You're wrong, Sorimachi Ichizo. Strength returns to my failing limbs. My heart is cold and exhausted, but something gives me power. Something.
まともな人間の分際で、殺し殺されの世界に手を出しやがった。
You're a regular guy, but you stuck your neck into the world of killers.
それがてめえの間違いだ。
That was your big mistake. No. A good man, is that what you named me? What a joke. Absurdity at its finest. Ooh. Saramachi Ichizo, what do you presume to know about me? Loving parents, a fine upbringing? It's correct. Your conclusion is laughable, though, an imbecile's logic. I mean, I feel like he's simplified the world a little bit, yeah. But most of his points make sense. So maybe I can agree with Kageaki. His conclusion's laughable, but his starting propositions and commentary on Kageaki seem accurate. Bet how the character is half-assing most things. From good families come good children. If that were indeed a law of the universe, how simple this world would be. How bright. Answer me this. Would a child with loving parents, a child raised to be kind and just, who then goes on to murder his mother, would he be the regular guy you speak of? Is that what you mean by raised right? Nonsense. Nonsense! You're a fool, Sorimachi. I see the faint shape of my foe high above, the moon once again at his back. I know what this portends. Laken, Immelman turn. He said he killed his own mother. Die. Die, you son of a bitch.
てめえが真面目にやってりゃ、あのガキどもがわけもわかんねえで殺されることもなくて済んだんだ。
If you weren't such a wishy-washy piece of shit, maybe those girls would have died for something?
てめえの理由とやらは聞かねえよ。だが、言っておいてよ。てめえは誰も救っちゃいねえぜ。
I don't know what you're after, but I'll tell you this, you ain't saving anyone.
殺しただけだ。てめえの勝手でな。
All you do is kill, you might as well be doing it for nothing. Yes, it doesn't matter what my reasons were, or whether I had a reason at all. All that matters is what I did to them, to him, to her. I killed them of my own free will. I killed them to serve my purpose. You understand? You do understand, Sorimachi. Why can't you make the final connection? That is what makes a demon. His feelings aren't important, whether he laughs with joy or howls in disgust. A man who kills for himself is a demon. The man who kills for a cause is no different. Heroes, soldiers, warriors of every sort, these are demons too. All who kill are demons. That is one philosophy. Okay. That is the Batman philosophy. Is this just edgy Batman? Remember, Batman's philosophy is that it doesn't matter how many people the Joker kills, as long as nobody kills the Joker, they're doing the right thing. So when the Joker puts a nuke in Metropolis or Gotham City and detonates it because someone couldn't stop him in time, all those deaths, stopping the Joker would be a bad thing. Killing the Joker to stop those people from dying would be a bad thing. But it would be a good thing if instead you arrested him and all those people died. No matter what, killing people is wrong. That seems to be Kageaki's philosophy. Which also makes no sense. Batman's philosophy sucks dick. Everyone knows it. Edgy Batman? Yeah, based Marvel Batman, but written by the guys who made the Marvel Ultimate Universe? Could be. The Marvel Ultimate Universe is like this. It is indeed. Wait, edgier, but for very little reason. On the upside, it did give us Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury before he was in the movies. That's not a bad trade. But on the other hand, it gave us the Blob eating people. Yeah, that was super edgy. Yeah, Batman's philosophy does nothing but bite him in the ass every 2 days. Kageaki just says, I must be evil because I think stopping people from killing other people is wrong. It's like his philosophy just sucks. Because it's like the only way you'd ever have a world that doesn't suck massive dicks is to be evil. I don't really get it. We got Injustice because of that? True. We got all of Injustice. And what did Justice teach us? Other than that Superman is a dick. That's right, Batman's philosophy sucks. But at least we had fun games, got some fun games out of it. It also taught us that any what if that involves Lois Lane dying, Batman kills everyone, which is kind of... Batman becomes a mass murdering tyrant, which is like a weird fucking what if to reveal. If it's like we don't need kryptonite to make Superman evil. We just shoot Lois and suddenly bam, Superman kills everybody. And declares himself your god. Weird fucking what if, but I guess we know something about Superman now. Yes, what separates good from evil? Only one thing and one thing only. The ability to reject the value of a life. I would like to point out that this means his threshold for who he can kill who is good is hilariously low. So when you guys were like, when people were like, we don't know if he can kill random people to reset his evil killing counter, or his good killing counter, he says, there's only 2 people in the world, demons and non-demons. I kill demons, therefore everyone else is a saint. Meaning, anyone who he hasn't identified as a fucking demon he can murder to reset his counter. So he doesn't even need to kill the people he met. He could have killed 2 fucking random villagers and called it a day. This guy. Like, the only reason people on your side are fucking dying is because you suck so much dick at your own philosophy. You don't realize, in this exact line, that you could have just killed random people. So the only reason he's killing people he knows is basically to cause himself harm, or because he knows they don't have many connections to other people. Those are like the only reason, like he's going out of his way to either self-harm, or he's doing it because they don't have connections to other people. But like, the random kid he saved murdering him didn't need to die because he had connections to other people. So presumably he's killing him either to put him out of a life of misery caused by attempting, like, now it's like, what is his reason for killing people? Like, the chapter 2 deaths, now they come into a new light. We have the light of their father was dead and he knew it, so he killed them because they were what, an oppressed minority and would live a life of suffering without parents? Is that his rationale? That's his rationale for killing them instead of anybody else? Alright. Okay. Then why did he not kill Misao? Obviously it's because we had Otori high on our list of liked people? So he's doing it for self-inflicted suffering then, right? Maybe a combination of both? That's a really weird philosophy to have for your mandatory murder shit. Alright. It's a weird philosophy, but I think it's the plot-induced stupidity here. Also, actually that makes me even more confused, because Otori, the first time our protagonist met Otori, she literally shot 2 people in the head. She killed at least 2 people. In the scene, we meet her. She just murders 2 guards because they're not treating people well enough. So clearly she's a demon because she can reject the value of a life. Therefore, he killed her for no reason. That was the first scene we met Otori in. He was watching from the bushes as she murdered 2 people. The only thing that separates good from evil, the ability to reject the value of a life. She killed 2 people, she rejected the value of a life, If there's only 2 people in this world, demons, anyone who kills anyone is a demon. She killed someone, therefore she's a demon. Maybe he killed her because he killed all demons. Alright. Doesn't seem like he's trying to balance it, he's just getting around to killing her. Alright. I guess that's what we go with. He just kills them anyway. In which case, I don't know why he didn't kill Sorimachi. I don't know why he cares about killing anyone else. Because I don't understand why he's killing people. Like, just kill this guy. He killed, like, this guy in the fucking mech suit. Just killed, like, let's say, he said people in the cage is moving. Let's say 2. He just murdered 2 people in his attempt to kill you. He is a demon. Kill him. This Sorimachi guy is going around handing out tsurugi to people for them to kill people with the intention of them killing people. Is this not enough for murder? I don't fucking know. But here we are, okay. I mean, I can understand not killing this guy, by the way, under that philosophy. If he says you have to actually kill someone, to be a demon, and I don't kill people who aren't demons, then he can actually not kill Sorimachi. That one makes sense. That would make sense under his rationality, right? Because you have to directly kill someone. I mean, in theory, the ability to reject the value of a life might mean that his willingness to support people's desire to kill people should make him a demon, because he's not valuing the lives of all the people he's intentionally ruining by having someone else kill them. But whatever, we can be a little more direct and, like, you know, play with some. We can like reinforce the rules if we need to give the character a little bit less leeway, right? Like, sometimes you just want to say he can't do that because he didn't see him kill anyone or something. That's the answer. That's everything. Funnily enough, this should mean he's actually going to hunt down all the Rokuhara, because they clearly don't value lives, as most of the soldiers in the Rokuhara just put down a rebellion, killing tons of people, or participated in the purge of Osaka, killing literal millions of people. So all of them should be fair game for murder. Like, if you have Rokuhara in your profile, you just get to die, right? It's like, Rokuhara, I've been in service in the military for 2 years. Oh, okay, I can kill you. Easy one, right? That's the answer. It's everything. Well, let's find out. Die, you worthless piece of shit. Well, for some reason, I have the feeling that Kageaki's not dying. Sorimachi. If that's how you see me, so be it. Scorn my reluctance, deride my tears if it pleases you. Call me a good man for all I care. He called you a regular person, not a good man. But know what I am. I know what I've done.
Aki! Korosta!
Aki! Korosta!
Aki! Korosta! Aki! Korosta!
And I have faith in my evil. Are you going to embrace your actual evil? I'd actually be okay with him just being a straight up evil protagonist. That would be fine. It's like the guy doesn't want to admit that people like Overlord and are curious how evil Ainz is gonna be. Unfortunately, Ainz is not that. Ainz is only casually evil, but you know, I'd be down with an evil protagonist. Come on. I hear it. My enemy's gasp reaches me from on high. No doubt he thought me beaten and broken. I myself don't understand how I'm moving. I mean, sorry, wrong button. It looks like the armor's intact. I know they don't make any changes to the 3D model, but still, looks like the armor's still working. But I do. I look up at Sorimachi plummeting from heaven like a meteor of malice, and I rise to meet him. My enemy wields the Immelmann turn, the invincible sword that brings death from above. Our angle is now perfectly vertical, I climbing, he falling. It is glaringly apparent who has the advantage. How can I answer him? What can I do? Despite his understandable shock at my recovery, Sorimachi's technique shows no signs of faltering. He still has complete faith in his superiority. I don't blame him. The Immelmann turn is well worth his trust. It's a Maken, an art so perfect as to be called sorcery, witchcraft, fantasy given form. If there is to be any hope of victory, I too must give form to fantasy. Kabuto Wari. If there is a dream that all young warriors share, it is this. Kabuto Wari, where an unarmored, unaugmented human cleaves a steel helmet in two in a single stroke of his sword. Yeah, that'd be cool. It's impossible, the stuff of wild fancy and delusion. Find the swordsman with the greatest skill and give him the mightiest sword ever forged, and even he will only cut at most a few centimeters into the helmet's crown. This is what sane people mean when they speak of Kabuto Wari. And the warrior who accomplishes this seemingly insignificant feat well deserves the title Master. Yes, he called Immelmann but with a sword fantasy. Magic, even. Don't ask that why. It's okay, we're gonna reach into the real realm of fantasy in a second. That's right, the Immelmann turn is in fact magic. The perfectly split helmet is a dream, the goal of amateurs who think themselves superhuman. But if one were to realize that dream, then his technique, his sword, has transcended the laws of nature, honed and forged by a singular will into the purest form of madness. If such a sword exists. If it exists. Then neither the strongest foe nor the mightiest bulwark nor the most insurmountable odds will suffice to deter it. Should I tell this guy about water? And how you can cut steel in half with water? Or about how a bullet can go right through a steel helmet and out the other side, no problem? So a spray of bullets from a machine gun could probably cut a plate of metal in half. There might be a couple pieces where they aren't perfectly aligned and it doesn't cut, but you know. The sword will cut through everything in its path, man, machine, and god alike. That is, if such a sword exists. Don't forget laser cutters, right? So a lightsaber would do that. A lightsaber would cut through. He just needs a lightsaber. Our protagonist just starts yelling irrationally. Nice. Fuck did you? Alright, so, he won. He was... Now remember, before we started this fight, we were on our last legs and desperately recovering energy to even fly. We then let this guy hack into us a few times, and then one-shot him. Are we on our last legs again?
Mido!
Mido? Mido! Hey, it's Muramasa.
Oh.
I'm here.
今、あなた、何をしたの?
Mido? What did you just do?
わからん。
I don't know.
わからん。
I forgot.
ミド。
Mido?
それはいい。島へ戻るぞ、村正。
Enough. Back to the island, Muramasa.
怪物を放置しすぎた。急がねばならぬ。
We left the monster alive for
機
too
体状
long.
況はいいかが。
Status report?
どうにか動けるというところ。
We can move.
どうにかね。
Barely, I might add.
あなたも私もとっくに限界よ。いつ落ちても自然の断り。根人様に文句を言えた筋合いじゃない。
We're both at our limit. We could drop out of the sky any second now and the Konjin would take no pity on us.
ならば即刻に済ませよう。
Then we'll finish this quickly. Let's go.
行くぞ。
We have all the height in the world.
え
Right. We have all the height in the world and a quarter power. We started with 100%, right? How many hits had she taken? 50? 100? After shepherding her through the storm of steel for longer than anyone could have hoped, Ichijo's crimson armor at last disintegrates into its component threads. In the blink of an eye, they vanish on the wind.
そっか。ご苦労さん。
She whispers with heartfelt gratitude. You did good. Then she lifts her head and looks at up at the enemy whose next shot will surely slay her. Its cannons make ready to fire to satisfy the pilot's anger at having been toyed with for so long by an enemy so small. So this is it, Ichijo muses. She feels no regret. Disappointment. She'd have liked to fight more, but not regret. She got her wish to fight at his side, if only for a single night. And she doesn't doubt for a moment that to die young in battle is a far better fate than a lifetime lived in impotence. She accepts death. Accepts it and raises her fists, ready to fight until her last breath.
おい。
Hey! The giant departs, leaving her alone with her resolve. Is this mercy? Has it decided she's not worth killing? No. The enemy is afraid. It pulls a turn too rapid for its size, its armor squealing in protest, and heads off to face. To face. Now Ichijo realizes what has happened. He saved her.
また助けられちゃった。
He did it again. Stop simping for me. I'm doing my fucking job. I did the plan.
死んでたはずの命を助けてもらったってこと。
Ah, he saved me when I should have died, and that means my life belongs to him.
あの人のものだってことだよな。
Don't play the romantic music. What is romantic about this? Like a 12-year, it's like a 14-year-old who's infatuated with their teacher, and you're like, them giving you an extension on your project isn't special. They did it for fucking everybody. Like 10 people in class asked them, and it's like, but he said yes, and it's like, yeah, of course. It's like, they're not that mean, they're people too. Oh well. I
し
owe
かも
him.
2度だ。
Yeah, I owe him 2 lives now.
この命はあの人のために使う。
I'll use them to fight at his side. If you get up to 9, can you just start resurrecting?
あの人の戦いのために使う。たくさんの人を救う。戦いのために使う。
I'll fight its enemies, and together we'll save many people.
あの人に救ってもらった命で、私も誰かを
That's the
救う。
best way, the only way. True, we saw what happened not too long ago when a 14-year-old simped for their teacher. She's 17? Oh, really? I didn't know how old she was supposed to be. I only know she's a schoolgirl wearing a school outfit who's still in school right now, and that she's someone's senior. But I wasn't even clear what grade they were in, so I was like, eh, fuck it. She could be like 14, 12, I don't know. She's 17. Okay, well that's less that makes it slightly less creepy that she's crushing on Kageaki. Oh yeah, all we know is that she's older than Yuhi and friends, and Yuhi, I don't remember how old he was, but he was like 14. Hold up. I have no clue how old he is. 15 at best? Yeah. Alright, it's the best way, the only way. You gotta spend 2 of your lives in his service. Alright, fair. I understand this at least. Minus the romance. I understand this. Unless you independently thought he was hot, then maybe. Yeah.
ほうけてる場合じゃねえ。
But I've still got a job to do! It's not over, there's still enemies to fight. Her resolve to do battle was renewed this night, and there must be no delay in putting it to the test.
よし。
Right. She takes off into the darkness. Her destination, the same as her enemies, the middle of the island. Once more to the battlefield, Ayane Ichijo. And before long, she reaches it. The shore. In front of her is the lighthouse that guided them to the island, a signpost telling her she has traveled in precisely the opposite of her intended direction. You know, I would be mad, but this was thoroughly explained to us as a problem for her. Not once, but twice. Ichijo? She's so directionally challenged. Oh my goodness, that's kind of funny. Like, I'm saved. Time to escape. Or go to the center of the island. And she just runs off to a obscure corner and you're like, God damn it, Ichijo. How'd you pick? How did you? Okay, there is a 5-story mech in front of you, walking in the same direction. You decide to go with it to the center of the island. You end up on the edge of the island, opposite direction you were intending to walk. How do you screw up? There's a giant fucking mech as a goddamn measuring thing. You can just be like, the mech in that direction. That's where I'm going. Easy. Brainless. She's somehow lost. How did you get lost? It's a giant mecha. There's a trail of destruction behind it. You could follow its footsteps. Ichijo, come on. I'm not mad. This is just super funny. Oh my goodness. Alright, that was good stuff. Why? Why? Some diseases have no cure. Poor Ichijo. Target in sight. Looks like it's on its knees again. Refueling?
Ooh.
Affirmative. I fly like the wind, the creature once more looming large before me. Fear that I am too late gnaws at me, but I banish it from my mind. I can only fight for every last second and hope that'll be enough. The enemy's on the ground, seemingly immobile. Did something happen to force it to land? It doesn't appear to be damaged. I'll worry about that later. I can tell it's moments from resuming the fight. I charge. Whether it's instincts or instruments that warn him, I can't say, but the Titan's pilot responds to my approach quicker than anticipated. Its cannons turn and spit flame. A wall of lead appears to block me, but I charge on, caring not. I have no energy left to evade. The bullets tear at my armor, a focused barrage that attests to the pilot's skill. I know I only have a few seconds before they soften it. They break through to the soft flesh beneath. A vision of death flares up in my mind, but I banish it and press onward. Onward, my every faculty trained on my target. My one chance to bring this beast low. Gotta say, I don't actually think it's possible for machine gun bullets to break through certain kinds of armor. Like, it just doesn't happen. There's not really a realistic amount of bullets you could fire. Like, I actually don't think it's possible to get through a tank's armor with an AK. Unless you fired, like, a truly ludicrous amount of bullets for a ludicrous amount of time. And they commonly reflect this in video games. Even simulationist ones basically make it impossible to deal damage with a machine gun. So, kind of interesting. Also, I didn't realize how far those shoulder pads were floating above his body until they showed us this angle. Look at the red in between those shoulder panels. God damn. Those are some big-ass hollow shoulder pads. They aren't even thick plates. They're like centimeter thick plates above his actual shoulders. Interesting. Your one chance to bring this beast low. Its cockpit. Location burned into my mind. Seems to glow like a beacon drawing me in. Just a little more. Mido?
Boy.
Descends now.
Yoshino Onryu Kasen Jinrai ga kuzushi.
Yoshino Onryu Kasen Reiho, adapted from Jinrai.
Magatsu.
Railgun Magatsu. Let's go. Moonveil doing it again. Can't believe they gave this guy Moonveil. The giant is at last silent, now merely a small mountain shining dully in the moonlight. Pushing my injured legs to the limit, I climb up to the deep gash carved by my strike. The Rokuhara Dragoon is dangling from his cockpit, unconscious. I pull him free and toss him to the ground, then peer into the machine's metal bowels. Beyond the latticed catwalks in the belly of the monster, I see them, the children huddled in their cage. They're motionless, all of them, like a single lump of flesh. Something cold slides down my ribs into my gut, and my voice catches in my throat. I know I should call out to them, but fear prevents me.
Muramasa, 確認しろ。
Muramasa, run a thermal scan.
熱源探査。
Give me their condition.
無事よ。衰弱がひどいけれど、生きている。
They're alive.
すぐに
Badly
治療を
weakened,
受けさ
but
せれば
alive.
助かるでしょう。
If they get treatment soon, they should be okay.
ミド
You know?
すまん。
A moment. My head swims as the pain and fatigue that were forgotten during the battle return with a vengeance. The shock of collapsing only makes it worse, but I manage to somehow shake it off and stand.
本当に限界ね。今の私たちなら、この間のレーサークルスとやらと殴り合いしても負けられるかも。
We're both way past our limit. In our current state, we might even lose a fight to one of those racing cruxes. Feels bad, man.
お前がそんな弱音を吐くならよほどだな。まだ研
It
究
must
所
be
の方
bad
が
if
片
you're
付
willing
いて
to
いない
admit that. But there's still the matter of the research facility.
まさか、
You can't meet.
今回はここまでとしておく。本件は銀星号事件と無関係であることがほぼ確定した。
No, I believe we can rule out Ginseigo's involvement.
現状で解決を強行すべき必然性は欠く。
In which case, there's no reason to act with undue haste.
と言って、この島を放置してよいということにはならないが、今は彼ら、早一家の保護が優先だ。
I have no intention of leaving this island in Rokuhara hands, but the Haya children come first.
彼らの身柄を確保し、仲間と合流。対岸へ帰還する。
We'll collect them, rendezvous with Ichijo, and return to Katase. There's just one problem with that. Ichijo is by herself and directionally challenged. How will she make it back to the boat?
了解。驚かさないで。
Excuse me. Alright, don't scare me like that. I grab hold of the giant's armor, gather my strength for another climb. All I have to do now is haul the prisoners free. It might be difficult in my condition, but perhaps I should just secure the area and call for...
何よ、今度。まだ何かあるっていう
It's
の
not over yet?
そのようだ。
So it would seem. The bullet that explodes against my helmet restores some life to my enervated brain. A trap, that's right. This whole thing was a trap set to remove me from their equation. I should have known they wouldn't just let me go. Their plan was a resounding success. They pit their enemies against each other, and now Rokuhara's weapon lies in ruins, and I can barely move. All that's left is to finish us off. Five more. 3 dragoons circle high overhead with 3 more keeping watch from low altitude. STO-5 Warwolves and GRO-3 Garms, the AEF's premier cruxes for air superiority and ground control. Sky is closed, and on the ground are tanks and infantry by the dozen. No way out. A man stands atop the closest tank. He's tall and imposing, his uniform bulging with muscle, but his face white and delicate like a porcelain sculpture. Blonde hair and blue eyes, a pure-blooded Anglo-Saxon, if ever I've seen one. With that golden greatsword strapped to his back, he resembles a demigod hero of myth. It's obvious at a glance he's in charge here, but I squint and scan for his rank insignia anyway. Major, if I'm not mistaken, which makes him the commanding officer of a company or perhaps an assistant bureau chief. He looks down at me from his vantage point, gaze offering no hint of emotion.
機関はどなたか。
And who might you be?
礼節として答えよう、蛮族の戦士。断っておくが、当礼はいらない。
I'll grant you a reply, barbarian warrior. You needn't return the courtesy.
私はジョージ・ガーゲット少佐である。GHQ 資料管理課に所属する。
I am Major George Gargett of GHQ's Data Management Bureau. Since he seems disinterested in my personal information, I respond with another question.
資料管理課。
Data management?
そうだ。 私は資料を管理しに来たんだよ。
Indeed, my duty is to manage data vital to our mission in Yamato.
その作業には資料の廃棄も含まれる。
And where necessary, that includes the disposal of said data. It sounded like a place to send unwanted officers, but now the name makes sense.
つまりは機関が反町らを使い大和支配のための謀略を巡らしていた人物。
Ah, so you're the
そう
one
解
using
釈して誤りないだろうか。
Sorimachi and his ilk to foment unrest across Yamato. Is this accurate, Major Gargett of GHQ's Black Ops Division?
答える必要を認めない。
I'm under no obligation to answer, he says with impressive arrogance, doubtless knowing this amounts to a blunt affirmation.
では事実と仮定して問いを重ねさせていただく。戦争に善悪を問う不毛は承知の上。しかし政治には良否があろうと存ずる。
Then I will continue on the basis of that assumption, if I may. While I grant that war has little room for questions of right and wrong, I hold that the same is not true for matters of civil policy.
貴軍が大和を制圧するは軍略の正道と認められても卑劣な策謀によって民心を得ようとするは恥ずべき非道とのみ思われまいか。この点いかに。
Therefore, while you may justify your occupation of Yamato as a necessity of war, I feel your shameful attempts at swaying the civilian population through fear and deceit are at best unknightly and at worst inhuman. Your opinion, Major?
答える必要を認めない。
I'm under no obligation to answer. He doesn't bat an eye.
だが一般的見解として述べるなら正道といい非道と言おうとそれは絶対的な基準を持つものではなく
However, I
ケ
were
ース
to
バイケース
say, express the prevailing view on the issue, I'd say that right and wrong are not absolutes, but should be considered on more of a case-by-case basis. Okay. Okay.
その策謀とやらを非道と取るか否かは見解の相違があるだろう。
How you judge these shameful attempts you speak of is simply a matter of where you stand.
最低限の人倫さえ絶対的な基準ではないと。
Are even the most basic human rights open to consideration?
いいや
Certainly not. It's awesome in a way how the Major answers with perfect calm and perfect assurance, as if oblivious to the accusation in my voice.
人たる道天に増す我らが父の教えは絶対的に尊重すべきものである。しかしそれは君らと何の関係もないことではないか。
We must all uphold the laws of our Heavenly Father and treat our fellow men with dignity and respect, none of which applies to you, of course, though I must admit your eloquence had me fooled for a moment.
言葉を発する珍しい猿よ。
I very nearly mistook you for human. Now that's all I needed to hear, so that's the kind of man he is and where his justice lies. There are those among the Anglo-Saxon race who believe their successful conquest of nearly the entire world has been the product not of superior strategy, resources, and technology, but rather divine will, so-called manifest destiny. Such men are not uncommon, nor is their belief difficult to understand. It's equally easy to grasp, however, that for this soldier and any Yamatoan to see eye to eye would require bridging a gap of about 10,000 light years, a journey I'm afraid I haven't the energy to make.
こちらも礼節として確認をさせていただく。
In the interest of civilized discourse, allow me one final question.
機関には自分に対する戦闘行動を回避する意思は全く一切合切完膚なく皆無か。
Am I to understand there's no possibility, however slight, of resolving this situation without a battle?
戦闘などは行わない。言ったはずだ。我々は資料の管理を行う。
There will be no battle. As I said, I'm here to manage data, nothing more.
村正、君という資料を我々は廃棄するだけだ。
Muramasa, your data has been marked for disposal. I haven't the stomach to ask Muramasa for a report on my condition. My left side limbs, those that took the brunt of the death ray, seem hardly attached. My right leg isn't much better, and I have serious doubts I'll be able to stand, let alone fight.
村正
Muramasa?
一応聞くだけ聞くけど、土下座して命乞いをするって選択はないのね。
Seems a stupid question. I don't suppose begging for your life will work.
それが通るなら幸いだったが 彼は人種差別主義者だ。そ
I
もそ
wish it
も
were
こち
so
らは
simple.
交渉に値する相手とみなしている。
He is as pure a racist as I've ever met. As far as he's concerned, I have no standing to negotiate with him. Yeah, we're gonna have a hard time with that one. I try to come up with a better explanation, thinking it might be difficult for a medieval Yamatoan to grasp the concept of racism. I needn't have bothered.
あなたたちの一部が私たちに対して持っているような感覚で、あいつは今こっちを見ているってことね。
Ah, so he sees you the same.
話すだけ無駄でしょ。
He sees you the same way many of your people see mine? Well then, talking won't solve anything.
避け合うか、殺し合うか。道は二つに一つよ。
There's no reasoning with people like that. You can only avoid them or fight. I guess you gotta make your pick. I see. I can tell by Muramasa's tone she speaks from experience, leaving me no room to argue. Not that I have any inclination to do so, as I fully agree with her assessment.
突破する。
We're breaking through.
いける
You
か
ready?
村間。
裸で真冬の富士に登れるものなら、きっと。
Sure. If you call someone climbing Fuji naked in the middle of winter, ready?
そうか。その
I
程
see,
度
I
か。
see. Very comforting. Well, at least it's climbing Fuji naked and not Fuji naked without any legs. Think of the positives.
その程度よ。気楽に行きましょう、ミド。
Relax, Nito. It'll be a piece of cake. I still have a duty to perform. Much as I would relish a miserable death, I must settle for a shameful existence instead. I do a quick visual scan of the enemies surrounding me, and their formation is perfect, tight enough to keep even ants from escaping. Impressive considering ants travel underground sometimes. That's where their burrows are located. I have a question for him though. I have a thought. I should say actually. I don't have a question for him. Would it not have been? I feel like it might have been better if he actually recharged his mana by killing good people. Would that have been a better twist? Like, he has to kill you for power? Otherwise, Muramasa loses all of her energy? Like, it has to kill on a regular basis? Would that have made it better? Like, he's only able to function by killing people? I feel like that's what would have made it a super cursed armor. Right? Because then you don't kill anyone for 5 minutes, or you expend a lot of energy but don't get a kill, and then you have to get another kill or something. I wonder if that would have been better. Oh, well, not important. I was just thinking, huh, that was a thought I have, but they obviously axed that possibility. All right, what's the plan? Breaking free to the sky is out of the question. 6 dragoons are standing by to shoot me down the moment I take off. My only hope is to escape by land. The enemy will try to keep me pinned with tanks and infantry, while the Garms, dragoons designed for close air support, strike with impunity from above. I'll have to fend off this onslaught, looking for a gap in the formation, disengage, and then return to rescue the Haya children, rendezvous with Ichijo, and escape the island undetected. This may prove more difficult than climbing Fuji naked in the winter. And now the blonde titan stirs atop his tracked steed, surely aware of what my wandering gaze means. He raises his massive sword and carves a shining cross in the air, lifts his eyes to the heavens, and cries,
Sacrosancto!
Sacrosanct?
剣
A tsurugi.
やはりか。
I knew it. His golden sheath bursts into pieces that encase him in shimmering armor. A crux. Blood, of course. A Shinichi. His incantation would identify it as Ascalon, the Dragon Slayer, though likely a copy. The original is far too valuable to be in his possession. From the look of the metalwork, I place it as 7th or 8th generation Royal Smithy. And look, he's got Grand Sacks. He's got the bolt of Grand Sacks just sticking out of his forehead. Alright. Thus armored in the majesty of legend, the Major jumps down from his tank and steps forward. He still hasn't given orders to his men. Does he mean for this to be a duel?
害虫駆除は危険を伴い、しかも不毛な作業だ。
The fake Ascalon? Probably. Yeah, it's the bolt of Grand Sacks just stapled to his forehead. Pest removal's a dangerous task, he says calmly, as though responding to my unspoken question. One with little honor or
この
reward.
ようなことに優秀なる我が兵士我が同胞の命を費やしたくはない
I can't ask my comrades to
彼
risk
ら
their
の
lives.
力はふさわしい戦いにのみ用いられるべきな
So
のだ
unworthy of them. Their strength is meant for a more fitting battle. At this, tremors of adulation run through the soldiers encircling us. It appears this pompous display was meant to be inspiring.
拍手でもする？
Didn't you applaud?
やめておこ
Better not. I'd have to sheathe my sword. Without acknowledging his men's response, Major Gargett takes a step towards me and then stops. The range is still too far for a duel.
であるならばだ最も望ましい結末は同胞の手を煩わせず
As such, the
害虫
ideal
が勝
outcome
手に死んでくれること
is for said pests to die without my men ever lifting a finger.
害虫同士で食い合ってくれることだ
In other words, for the vermin to kill one
そうで
another.
はないかね
Don't you agree? This last is, for some reason, directed at me. I already know what GHQ is after. This trap was designed to yield precisely the outcome he speaks of, and it has succeeded. What more could he want? Is this just his way of gloating, of savoring his victory? Unfortunately not.
だから最後まで食い合ってくれねば困るのだよ
And so let's see it through to the end, shall we? Suddenly realizing what he intends, I try to leap up and attack, but my ruined legs betray me, leaving me to flounder in the dust. With a grace that seems to mock my failure, the Major's crux takes to the sky. He flies, but not towards me. Toward the monster's head.
うガーゲット少佐
Major Gargett.
このガラクタはよくできている
This lump of metal is quite extraordinary, he says as he alights atop the metal skull.
素晴らしい全く素晴らしい君ら列島の手になる創造物のうち
Brilliant.
これこそ
Truly brilliant.
最上の一品に違いない
Of all you savages have made, this is the one creation of worth.
クズを食いつぶしながらクズを駆逐するこれほど効率の良い清掃道具が他にあろうか
It consumes refuse to burn refuse. I've never seen a more efficient waste disposal mechanism.
そこから降りろガーゲット少佐
Stop this, Major Gargett.
騎士ではないのか
You call yourself a knight?
無論のこと私は騎士だ
I do indeed, replies the paragon of the Anglo-Saxon race. There's no shame, no remorse, no uncertainty in his voice, only
こ
pride.
の光栄あるクルスにかけて私は戦う神と祖国と同胞のために
I've sworn upon this sacred crux to fight for God, country, and comrade.
黄色い猿のためではないそれがそんなにも不思議か
Not for the yellow apes of this miserable land. Is that truly so hard to understand?
庇護を求めるなら騎士ではなく動物愛護団体を当たるがいいさらばだ村正
If aid is what you
君は
seek,
たけだけしく
you need an
狡猾だ。
animal rights activist, not a
見
knight.
るも不快な獣であった
Now then, Muramasa, farewell. You are the fiercest, cleverest savage I've ever had the displeasure to meet.
やめろ
Ah. My last entreaty fails. The Golden Knight vanishes into the cockpit and the dead knight returns to life. I'd like to point out that he intentionally avoided killing the pilot or damaging the cockpit. This is 100% on him and highly amusing. In a depressing sense. He very specifically avoided damaging the cockpit so that he wouldn't kill the pilot. And then exactly what you expect to have happen happened after he kicked the pilot out. Another one got in. It's okay though. He's mad, but he's not mad enough to actually do anything about it. Feels relatable actually. Like, wow, I'm angry about this. Nah, I'm not gonna do anything about it. Unfortunately, this guy actually has the power to do things, and he's not doing anything, so it's kind of just depressing, but you know, whatever. It lifts its ponderous bulk from the ground, screeching and squealing like a chorus of the damned. I realize too late that a repair crew is at its back, and before my eyes, they complete their work. The replacement of the machine's power cable. And thus the monster is restored in full, wings and fangs once again ready for battle. Muramasa's shock and mind meld into one vast, white expanse of non-thought. What should I do? How should I feel? Aren't you on the inside? Can't you just, like, gut its interior, killing it? Like, you don't even need to put a lot of effort into this, right? You have the power, you have, like, the backup power supply in cages. You can take them out. I mean, you don't need to be doing anything too crazy. He can't even target you because you're inside the mecha, right? I'm just curious what he's planning on doing from inside there. Dragon's jaws open wide. What do I do? What do I do? Fight. Yes, I must fight. But if I engage that monster once more... Then those children. Those children! Well, there's no answers to be had for my stricken brain. The cannon roar is sounding my death knell, but all I can do is stand petrified and wait for the end to come. He's inside the mecha. I'm confused how he's in danger. Like, what's... It can't shoot inside its own chest.
Nani?
What? Behold, a voice seems to ring from the heavens. Powerless to resist, all look to the sky, and there we see it, the silver star.
Might
have put a little too much into that one.
江ノ島がなくなってしまったぞ。
Enoshima's been wiped off the map. Damn, alright, that island got fucked.
Mido.
Mido?
あそこだ。
Over there. Oh, I missed.
半島になっている。
You made it a peninsula.
おお、本当だ。
Oh, so I did.
綺麗に飛んだものだな。あれは浮島だったのか。
What a smooth transition. I didn't know it was a floating island. She relocated the whole island onto the mainland. Very nice.
違うぞ、多分。
That seems
と
unlikely.
もあれ無事で何より。あのように景観の美しい島をなくしてしまっては惜しいものな。
Well, I'm glad it's alright. Wouldn't want to lose such beautiful scenery.
その意味では、
How much is
も
left,
っ
I
たい
wonder.
なしだが。
Well, that was fun. I was like mildly concerned that they accidentally blew up an island. Strange as it may seem, there's no sensation of impact or movement. Only the feeling of tremendous loss, as though the entire world vanished in an instant, followed by the jarringly incongruent realization that nothing about my immediate surroundings has changed. Then I look in the direction of land and discover the lights of Fudaraku Castle, visible at night from anywhere in the region, are closer than before. And the truth hits me. And I nearly soil myself in terror. Did the world just move out from under us? Or... Muramasa's voice is strained as she herself does not believe what she's saying. My thoughts and hers are one. Preposterous. I know intellectually this must be a manifestation of gravity control that's my enemy's unique power, but that's the limit of my understanding. For the life of me, I can't begin to comprehend how that was done.
なんだ今
What just
何が
happened?
起きた
Major Gargett does not have the benefit of even my meager knowledge, and I can imagine the blank expression on his face as the giant's head swivels looking for answers. None are forthcoming until, like me, his gaze alights on Fudaraku Castle, larger than before, and stops there, frozen. It will take him only a second to arrive at the truth, and his men, similarly disoriented, will need a few seconds more. These, then, are their last moments of peace on this earth. Soon they'll know it descended from the sky, and they'll know what it's done, and what it will do. And then they will know true fear. The last moments of blessed ignorance before it comes, the silver venom that twists men's souls.
何メタルエコー
A metal echo? It's time to pose that eternal question, to be or not to be, we ask. Thunder howls as the loyal dog sinks his teeth into the thief's soft flesh. In her warm nest, the chick calls for her mother. Closed eyes blind to the slithering snake on the vile savanna. The lion stalks his prey, golden mane puffed up with pride. This I'm not going to read the whole thing, it's going to disappear. Right? Right? It's going too fast. We've read this before. It was right at the start. Oh, it actually stopped this time. Well, the stream burbles softly as frolicking children crush the frog's egg beneath their bare feet. You who preach life's sacred meaning, heed the jester's heartfelt lies. You who fear death's cold embrace, know his mask is but a mirror painted black. Question life's purpose, and the jester in death shall lift a spoon. Embrace life's pleasures, and the jester in death shall doff their crowns. Run and dance, beasts of the plain, laugh and sing, feast and fight. For now all chains and cages have crumbled to dust beneath your feet. Someone howls, or something. This isn't the voice of a man, but a creature without reason or conscience. It sings of violence, bloodshed, and malice. Soon it's joined by 10, 20, and more to form a chorus of the jubilant damned. There's no impurities in their song, nothing human to taint its perfection. They're beasts now, nothing more. Two-legged, steel-skinned, and wielding tongues of flame. Such is the fate of this GHQ unit and its mission. What are you doing? Stand down. Stand down, I say. Those are your comrades. The feast begins, and all are predators, all are prey. A soldier empties his rifle into a clump of fellow infantry, filling the air with a mist of blood. Then the tank crushes him beneath its treads. The tank rolls on, uncaring, and sets its sight on another of its kind, but before it can loose its deadly shell, a grenade is tossed down its barrel, shredding it from within. The other tank, meanwhile, fires into the sky. The airborne dragoons aren't easy targets, but finally one goes down in flames. The unlucky pilot's comrades look on in shocked silence. They haven't become beasts. They're protected by their tsurugi, by the cruxes of adamant. And as the world unravels rapidly around them, they alone bear witness to the fragility of the unarmored. The Major, with his futile entreaties, is the only one among them who still has presence of mind to act. Perhaps this makes him a particularly enticing morsel. Oh, a new line. The man revered as God's messenger forsakes his faith, vomiting blood. The man hailed as the world's conqueror fails in his quest and drowns atop his horse. The princess chooses love over country and is led to the guillotine amidst the stench of offal. We've been here before. The orphan seeks sustenance in the blood of worms and rots from within until no flesh remains. Listen, all who live, and I'll sing your praises. Offer forth the malice concealed by weary smiles. Listen, all who live, and I will pray for your souls. Rest upon the joy which hatred and prejudice have birthed. A life of 100 years will hear the serenade of fire and steel. One of 7 days will glimmer bright in the silence and dark. Run and dance, beast of the plain. Laugh and sing. Feast and fight, for now all chains and cages have crumbled to dust beneath your feet. As one, the beasts turn their savage, bloodshot eyes upon the man who is their leader. Man, I have no way of knowing what he tries to say, what words he thinks will prevent the collapse of what he holds most dear. But whatever it is, his last noble attempt is denied its chance. Perhaps this is a kind of mercy. It was always doomed to failure. Words, after all, can't sway the heart of a beast. Their language is fist, fire, blade, and blood. Gunfire envelops the Major's machine, the shots wild, haphazard, and lacking no malice. I can only imagine how he must feel taking fire from men whom he in his own way clearly treasured. Aren't they all just like people he thinks are subhuman? I don't think he should care. Not one of the bullets hammering against him has the power to pierce his armor, but I know they are far from harmless. From within the steel giant issues a wordless cry of grief and rage, a naked blade that has no target. No target save one. Silver, most fabled of metals. Fragment of the moon, vessel of unearthly might, herald of chaos and madness. Once regarded as a conduit for the supernatural, the apostles of modern science have since rejected that belief as a superstition of the foolish and ignorant. But to whom do those labels truly belong? Oh, there it shines, a silver Musha before us, in its visage the beauty of a harvest moon, and in its armor the majesty of peerless might. In its gaze, the light of unchained madness. How can we not share in awe and terror that once gripped men's souls? Ginseigo, the silver star has come.
貴様が シルバーか我が同胞を壊したのか
Your coat silver, you drove my men insane? The Musha in question meets his roar with an indulgent nod. All words I recall are equal to her. All questions deserving a sincere reply.
自ら称した覚えはないが、確かに俺は銀の名で呼ばれるものに他ならぬ。
Though the name was not of my choosing, there's no denying I am the silver. Indeed.
同胞とは彼らのことか。そうだ。いらんものを消し飛ばした。
And these are your men? Oh, then yes, I'm responsible for relieving them of their burden.
いらんもの
What burden?
倫理。
Morality.
人が自らの手足にはめた枷。これを取り払ってやったのだ。
I like how there's like her handprint on the thighs of her armor. Like she's just rested her hands against the armor so often that the paint's peeled off in that exact pose. A chain that men forge to bind their own limbs. I've freed them from it.
なぜ
Why?
それがこの光の道を阻むゆえに。打破し、破壊し、壊滅させねばならぬ。
Because it's an obstacle in my path. I must scour all trace of it from the earth. You think a reflection? Ooh, you're right. It is white there. I was wrong. That's a reflection. From what light source, I'm not certain, but alright. It makes way more sense as a reflection, considering you can see the wrist, the gauntlet. Her like wrists are also reflected in it. That makes sense.
貴様は
倫理。そして倫理に基づいて構成された社会。
Morality is my enemy, as is the society founded upon it.
ひいてはつまり人の世界。
Which is to say, the world of man in its entirety.
すべて砕く。
I'll destroy it.
この光の手で打ち滅ぼす。
You know, it's a very bold statement to say you'll bring down a morality and the system of mankind when so far you've killed like a couple villages in a backwater town that everyone basically thinks are savages. Uncivilized savages. Like, I'll conquer the world, and it's like, excuse me. You're like a 12-year-old kid who can't even tie their own shoelaces. A bold claim. But it would make more sense if you say had steps that were proceeding in that direction.
貴様は
You're
狂
mad.
っているのか
I mean, I know she's supposed to be mad, so I'm not bothered by it.
いいな。俺は理性の命じるところに従っている。
No, nay, I only act as my reason dictates.
疑うならこの光の言うとを聞け。江ノ島の面積が約10分の4平方キロ。
Then listen and tremble in awe at my flawless logic. Enoshima has a surface area of approximately 0.4 square kilometers.
なんだと
What?
地球上の陸地総面積約1億5000万平方キロ。これを割り算すると
The Earth has a total land area of approximately 150 million square kilometers. Divide this by the area of Enoshima and you get
村正
Muramasa.
3億7500万。
375 million.
そう世界は江ノ島3億7500万個分。
Correct. The world is 375 million times the size of Enoshima.
つまり計算上さっきの江ノ島キック3億7500万回で世界は光の武力に屈服する。どうだ違うか
The conclusion is obvious. Another 375 million Enoshima kicks like the one just now, and the entire world will bow to my might. See? Flawless. Yeah, okay.
この
He's not wrong. You raving lunatic.
もうこんな単純な話がなぜわからん。英国人は数字に弱いのか
Seems awfully simple to me. Are Englishmen just bad at math?
人のこと言えんぞミド。それにそういう問題ではないと思う。
Besides, I doubt that's his problem.
もしかして彼は失われたムー大陸とか信じている人なのかまだ地底帝国があると
Do you think he's one of those people who believe in lost Atlantis? Or that there's like lizardmen living in the center of the earth?
いや、そうでもなく、非現実的な話を大真面目に語る人間を見たとき、
that's not it
大概
either,
の
Mito.
人間は彼のような反応をするものだ。
Oh, most people, when faced with someone who speaks of the impossible with such aplomb, they'd react in a similar manner.
非現実的。
Impossible?
何をバカな。
Be absurd.
やるぞ、俺は。
Stop me. She's like, that doesn't seem impossible. What's gonna slow me down? Hikaru. Hikaru. Hikaru, my sister. Dizzying change after dizzying change left my heart exhausted and numb, and yet it reaches out to Hikaru. A barely audible whisper uttered, unthinking, but she turns to face me at the sound of her name. Not knowing what else to say, I stare at the silver Musha in silence, but find no trace, none whatsoever, of the Hikaru I once knew. She's appraising me too, it seems, and after a short pause, she nods to herself as if pleased by what she sees.
普通、反問、応能。
Pain, grief, desperation.
しかして未だ折れぬ意志。
Yet beneath it all, your will remains strong.
上々だ。こちらへ近づいてきているぞ、影明。
Excellent, Kageaki. You're coming along nicely. Why does Muramasa have 2 swords? Because that's how samurai typically rolled. He actually has 3 because his Nodachi is missing, right? Right? You have a long sword and you have a shorter sword. Typically, your shorter sword is what? If I recall correctly, you use the short sword for extremely close quarters combat, and for is that the sword you use to kill yourself? I think that's the one you're supposed to use. Someone could probably correct me on that. But yeah, samurai typically carry a couple swords. Or multiple weapons in general. The stereotypical samurai carries 2 swords. And, like your general purpose samurai, but there is like samurai use multiple weapons. Yeah, you typically have 2 swords of different lengths. They're not to dual wield. It's for whatever is more appropriate to the situation. In 2 years, this may be the first time she's spoken a sentence to me, and yet the words are meaningless, her thoughts opaque, unknowable. I was right. Gods be damned, I was right. The creature before me is not Hikaru. My sister is gone.
どうして
Why? I find myself asking the most foolish of questions.
どうして狂った
What did this to
お
you?
前までそんなことを言うのか。
Kageaki. She sighs, her tone wounded. Even you think me insane? She seems wholly unaware of her insanity, of course. That's what makes her insane. I know these questions are futile. I know what to expect. But my pain, my regret will not let me stay silent.
呪われたからか
Was it the curse?
そうなのか
Was that it?
狂ってなどいないよ。
I'm sane as ever, Kageaki.
狂っている
Sane as ever.
狂っているではないか
How can you say that? I thrust my finger at the GHQ soldiers, at the beasts who were once GHQ soldiers. Aren't they Rokuharan soldiers? Whatever.
彼らを見ろお前の放つ波を浴びてああなった
Look at what happens to those touched by your
お
power.
前が狂っているからお前と心を重ねた彼らも狂ってしまったのだそうだろ
Joining minds with you has driven them to slaughter their allies, and you call yourself sane? The silver demon follows my finger, her gaze taking in the hell she created. Then her eyes seem to narrow, expressing satisfaction.
不武。
The law of might?
何
What? The law of might?
しかし、確かに解せないところはある。
You're right, it does strike me as odd.
なぜ誰もかもが知性を失うのか。なぜ光のようにはいられないのか。
Why do they all become as beasts? Why don't they retain their reason as I do?
それほどに飢えていたのだろうか。人は常日頃、そこまで闘争の差がを抑圧しながら生きているものなのか。光とは違って。
Is their hunger so strong? Do men truly spend their whole lives suppressing their nature as I do not?
だから、
Is that why? Ginseigo makes a circle with her right thumb and forefinger and aims at a nearby soldier.
少し弾いただけで、
If you just flick them a little, he makes the motion.
こうなってしまうのか。
You get this? The soldier's body leaps into the air as if propelled by some invisible force. The height of his jump is inhuman, as is the howl that bursts from his throat. The thing that was a man lands on the giant and clings to its armor, aiming his bloodshot eyes at the machine's cockpit.
Kevik!
Kevik!
Kevik 上等兵!
Private Kevik! The soldier grins at the sound of his name, or rather bares his teeth in what seems a grin, leans back, rearing his head, and lunges, biting into the giant's hide. His teeth shatter, blood runs down his jaw, but still he keeps gnawing while howling all the while. Private Kevik's body bursts like a melon, but the giant continues to fire. Beside the cockpit dangles the man's severed jaw, stuck to a handhold like a grisly trophy. He's mad. He mad. With a roar of pure hate, the Major trains all his cannons on the silver tsurugi. Perhaps his sanity has already fled. His aim, however, is beyond reproach, and 1,000 bullets find their mark. Ginseigo's hand assumes once more the flicking position, and her index finger then vanishes. Or only seems to vanish. It lashes out again, and again, far faster than the human eye can follow, and the night shivers with the sound of sharp pings. That's all my senses can perceive. But one thing more. Not one bullet reaches Ginseigo's armor, though the Major's fire is unceasing and his aim remains true.
なんとも不器用な指使いであることよ。クルセイダー。乙女の柔肌に触れたいと望むなら、もそっと丁寧にしなくてはならない。
Clearly calling him a crusader, but still, clumsy, Sir Knight. The Silver Musha says with a merry laugh, a maiden's fair skin requires a softer touch.
これではどんな娘もなびくまい。平手打ちを食うのがオチであろうよ。
Such fumbling fingers will win you no hearts, I'm afraid. A slap to the face will be your only reward. Is she deflecting the bullets with her finger? My mind rebels against the notion, but there's no other explanation. The giant turns and bares its main gun, which comes to life with a blood-chilling roar. So next is the beam that took most of my limbs, a weapon with no visible projectile that burns its targets to a cinder. It's a force to be reckoned with even for Ginseigo, but she doesn't seem to understand the threat it presents. Or does she? Either way, she's not amused.
両替者。乙女に向かって許しも得ず、そんな無粋な代物を突きつけるとは何事か。
Beast, how dare you reveal your unmentionables to a lady without permission?
光に対する狼藉は高いぞ。
You'll pay dearly for this disrespect. If this is meant to be a warning, it goes unheeded. I doubt a word of it reaches the Major's ears. The cannon's roar peaks. A moment more and it will lose its terrible power. Yet even facing a weapon whose nature she can't know, Ginseigo makes no move to defend or retreat.
なんだ、そんなものか。
Oh, is that all? The wave of energy swallows Ginseigo, who meets it with arms crossed before her. For several seconds, nothing moves. Time itself seems to have frozen. Is she dead? The question plays through my mind, but not because I believe it to be so. Quite the opposite, in fact. The question's purpose is to be denied.
波を送って内から壊す。なるほど。よくできてはいるが。
Waves that destroy your enemy from within. A finely crafted weapon, yeah.
要は裏当てではないか。この程度の打法。返すのは造作もない。
Really, just a variation on the vibrating palm. To counter such a blow is child's play.
こう。
Observe. With a crisp, smooth motion, the Silver Musha spreads her arms, and right before my eyes, the giant's cannon melts. The destruction doesn't stop there. The armor surrounding the cannon, too, slows away like ice beneath a blowtorch, sending sheets of molten slag crashing to the ground.
波を返してやれば。ほら、かよう。未熟な拳を使った腕は自ら砕けることにな
Damn,
る。
she knows shit. She knows how she ain't fucking around, and she knows how to just reflect that shit. Nice. Reflect the waves like so, and there you have it. The untrained fist is shattered by its own power. This is why you don't use techniques that are beyond you.
な。
Right? The last is directed to me with a wink. Am I supposed to agree with her? How can I when I haven't the faintest idea what she did or how? I'm still not certain what that weapon even was. So this is the chasm that separates us. Yeah, she just casually reflects the weapon that almost killed you. From where I'm standing, she might as well be on another planet, in another galaxy, or further, farther than my feeble imagination can take me. What up, my dude? I'm a man, chained to the earth, and Ginseigo a child of the uttermost stars. Will I ever reach her? Is it even possible?
Sir George!
Sir George?
Screw!
You fucking monster!
新手か。乱雑に群れをなしてとはまた無作
A
法。
group of latecomers all rushing in at once?
レディーにダンスを申し込むなら順番待ちくらいするものぞ。しかしよかろう。
Such impatience is most unbecoming. If you wish to ask a lady to dance, you should at least have the courtesy to wait your turn, but no matter.
狩猟民族に作法を云々しても始まらぬ。参れ。光が相手して使わす。
I'll not seek to teach manners to barbarians. Come, Hikaru shall lead for this number. And so the comedy enters its next stage as brave dragoons descend from the sky to punish the demon who wounded their lord. Ginseigo rises to meet them and battle is joined. Though I have to wonder what follows. Could it truly be called a battle? Ginseigo is clearly toying with her opponents. They throw up a cage of crisscrossing fire, but she darts through gaps that hardly exist. They close and strike with their swords from all sides, but she bats them away with playful sweeps of her fingers. She's dancing, yes. Dancing! How else to describe the beauty and grace with which she flits across the sky? I watch entranced, unable to move from my spectator's seat. Yeah, truly a high power level.
ミド、いけない。
You know we have a problem?
数が減ってる。
There are people missing. But people? What people?
ミド。
Mito! My brain awakens to Muramasa's cry. The processes that were paralyzed by Ginseigo's arrival spinning once more to full speed. There are fewer soldiers than before, too few to be explained by carnage alone. I should count twice as many men and tanks. Where did the rest go? Where did they... No.
目の前の片瀬へ向かったのか。
They're headed for Katasa?
可能性はある。あれが獣で餌を求めているとすれば。
They're animals and hungry for prey. Then their instinct might lead them to the town on the shore?
止めないと。
We have to stop them.
Oh.
I begin to reply, but something brings me crashing to a halt. I mean, you'd have to kill all of them, right? They're insane. You're not just gonna kill all those people after you went through all this effort to say, fuck it, I'm not killing anyone? Can't do that, buddy. I look to the center of chaos, a storm of rage and despair unto itself, the giant piloted by Major Gargott. Even with half his armor gone, he continues firing at the silver shape in the sky. What's keeping the monster moving? They are. Deep in the monster's bowels, these children still being used as fuel. And then there are the others to think about, the deranged soldiers feasting on their comrades in this hellish place. Interesting. An overlay of two images. Cool, cool. I don't think we've seen the second image for the overlay. That's why I was like bringing them the image. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Haven't seen this one before, I don't think. If I wish to save them, then the only way is to defeat Ginseigo.
どうするの？
What do we do? Am I actually gonna get a prompt for this? That's like a weird ass prompt. What should I do? I can't solve every problem at once, not with Muramasa as my only asset. Ichijo is nowhere to be seen. I don't even know if she's still alive, or, well, she has to be. I allowed her to come on this dangerous mission because I knew she could be expected to survive. In any case, I have only my own strength to command. I'll have to prioritize. Few concepts are more foul with lives at stake. Alas, there's only one truth in this place. People are dying even now. Dying for nothing.
まず怪物を始末する。ついで狂った兵団。最後に最も手間取るであろう銀星号。
First, we finish the Rokuhara Giant. Then the soldiers who made for the land bridge. Ginseigo is last. She'll take the most time.
以上方針。
Objections?
了解。
None. Muramasa ignites her Katari. My body quakes as we start to rise, but the vibrations are weak. We have too little power. Will we even be able to fly?
来るか、影焼き。
Are you ready, Kageaki? Ginseigo looks down upon us and speaks, calmly eluding blades and bullets all the while.
待ちきれなくなる頃だと思っていたぞ。よし。今日はお前にいいものを送ろう。
Oh, I know. You deserve a reward. An instant later, Ginseigo vanishes from the Dragoon's encirclement. It's no magic, I know, but simple flight. Flight whose transcendent speed and agility make it impossible for the human eye to follow. The GHQ Musha barely keep from colliding with each other in surprise. This act of seeming teleportation is made possible by Ginseigo's command over gravity. And now that terrible invisible gale is coming for me. I'm readying myself as best I can, knowing as I do, the effort is futile. I fully expect that when the silver Musha next becomes visible, I'll find myself scattered in bloody chunks across the ground. I don't think so. My expectations are betrayed. Ginseigo appears at the center of the storm, above the Rokuhara behemoth's head. She perches elegantly atop its crown and raises her hand before her. Between her fingers form a perfect incandescent sphere. There's no time to react. Before I can do more than cry out in alarm, Ginseigo thrusts the glowing sphere into the giant's armor. Her arm appears to meet no resistance, sinking into the elbow as if dipped into water. The giant tries to shake her off, but the silver demon laughs gaily and returns to the sky. Further enraged, if such a thing is possible, the Major gives chase as best he can. A vain effort, of course. Ginseigo doesn't even look back as she dodges his fire, slips past the waiting dragoons, and dives into the black of the night.
Miro, ikenai!
This is bad. Miro.
あの卵はもう孵化直前。こないだのやつと同じよ。今すぐに止めないと。
That egg's ready to hatch, just like the one from before. You have to stop it now. The moment Muramasa's words reach my ears, I blast off into the sky. The half-dead giant is still ascending, clawing its way toward the silver star shining high above. I follow after, but even though the enemy's speed is negligible for a tsurugi, I'm unable to close the distance for several seconds. My damage is severe. Eventually I get within range, the Major, unaware of my presence, allowing me to strike with impunity. I raise my blade and set my sights on the point I believe most vulnerable, his wings. Its stability fatally compromised, the beast succumbs to the pull of the earth. It plows into the ground with tremendous boom, burying itself deep in the dirt. It won't be flying again anytime soon. Not that I mean to let it try. I fall upon the twisted giant from above, desperate for every fraction of a second. Now the furious knight turns his cannons upon me, and I have no time to evade his fire. A single hit could even finish me off. So I do what any sane man would do. I cut my engine and drop from the sky. I see my blade point down toward the foe, my body the hammer, my sword the nail. My target the gash, my railgun carved into its chest. Contact. My sword plunges into the gaping hole and punches through to the other side, snapping the giant's body in two like a twig. The excess energy of the dive nearly cracks my head open on the ground. Is it over? I shake my head clear and scan the wreckage. Between two halves of the beast is a steel cage. And inside the cage... Mr. Haya! Wouldn't he be insane or dead? He's not protected, is he? It was exposed to the air. Right? No response. Haya-san! Can you hear me? He's not insane? It was open to the air? You literally jumped out of it at some point. I don't know when the fuck you did. You jumped out of it at some point? It was clearly open and she wasn't driven insane? That's good to know. So, like, heavy armor, maybe lead, protects you? It's not just the magic of tsurugi. His eyes open slightly to reveal lightless pupils, but though he doesn't appear to see me, recognition gradually dawns on his face.
Minato.
Officer Minato?
Minato-san. そこに
Yes. Oh, that's great.
なんか安心した。
He's alive, and his siblings, though dazed, are too. They're alive! They're safe! Relief floods my body, bringing me to my knees. Mito! It's still active. What? Still active? I leap to my feet and turn to the monster, but no, it's as dead as can be. If these 2 years taught me anything, it's how to recognize a dead tsurugi. There's no mistake, this one's scrapped. Which means the egg should have been destroyed as well. They got the wrong tsurugi. The egg's implanted in the smaller one. Understanding and malice, fierce roar and mighty sword all strike at the same time. I barely manage to block the slash, but doing so puts me face to face with my attacker. The GHQ officer, the knight in shining armor. Major Gargan. Damn you.
よくも私の同胞をこんな異教の兵器室で
You filthy savages. My men weren't meant to die here, not in this godforsaken place. Well, I guess they're dead now.
幾に死んでしまったのだ。
How many of you killed my men? My comrades? 0 actually.
離れ大陸のため来たる聖戦を共に戦うはずだった彼らが
They were to fight at my side in glorious battle, the last holy war to free our motherland. But now, I could call his blame misplaced were I so inclined. He and his men are not innocent in this. They attacked me and fought as soldiers. We haven't even killed any of them. We literally cut his mech in half. That's it. Be that as it may, his anger is real, and so too is his sorrow. So too are his tears. I mean, we didn't I don't understand. We haven't killed anyone from GHQ that he knows of. How is he so tilted? I know that he's kind of just losing his fucking marbles, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of just like, wait, we didn't actually kill anyone. So too are his tears. His every slash is fueled by hate, his every thrust by grief immeasurable. From the eyes of his mask flow rivers of red, as if his crux were weeping with him. And I ignore it all. Locking my heart in unfeeling stone, I ready my blades, set my feet, and cut George Gargett down where he stands. Well, that guy wasn't actually that scary. Damn, we waited like 5 minutes and killed him. Alright. I thought he'd be like a really scary duelist. We'd have a long-ass duel. No, he just dies in 2 seconds. Ichijo is aware of the situation, and after finding herself at the water's edge with no hope of reaching the fight in time, she decided to climb the nearby lighthouse and see what she could see. As a result, she's in the perfect position to witness every change that swept the battlefield. First, a silver Musha. Ginseigo almost certainly appeared out of nowhere. Then the troops on the ground, Rokuhara, GHQ, they started killing each other. It must be the mind-warping effect Officer Minato mentioned. And now a group of those men, convenient for her considering they were approaching from the far side of the island, and she would have been in probably in Ginseigo's range if she actually went to the boat. Right? Because Ginseigo pushed the island. Ginseigo pushed the island towards the mainland, and they approached from the far side. Now a group of those men is broken off towards Katase. If they're allowed to reach the mainland, there's no telling how many they'll kill. They have to be stopped, but Muramasa is still pinned down. Who does that leave to stop them? Oh, why who else? Toeyana Ichijo. Decision is synonymous with action. She knows no hesitation and has no second thoughts. She's going to stop a company of trained soldiers with no weapons. From the moment her goal is set, her mind exists for a single purpose, to determine how to best accomplish it. First, the problem, how to reach the target. She can't take the most direct route. That would take her through the center of the island, and therefore Ginseigo's zone of influence. She'll have to skirt the island's edge, staying as close to the water as possible. But she is directionally challenged. How will she do that? Slow, too slow. Is there any other option? None. Course set. Next problem, how to stop a fully armed contingent of soldiers. Okay. Use the only weapon available. Her fists? Is there another option? None. Course set. Planning phase complete. Execute. Alright. Whoa there.
てめえ、なんでこんなとこにいやがる?
The fuck are you doing here? She knows this man, Sorimachi Ichizo, a thug in the pay of both Rokuhara and GHQ. The pieces quickly connect in her mind, his wounds and ragged, waterlogged clothing, the duel that took place in the sky above the island. Conclusion.
港さんを襲ったのはてめえか?
You're the one who attacked him?
ま、この通りのざまですがね。
Well, you can see how well that went.
ちきしょう。今はいい。どきやがれ。
Yeah, I got no
私は
time to deal
忙
with
し
you.
いんだ。
Out of my way.
おや
Busy, are we?
てめえの仲間の軍隊が土地狂って市街地に突っ込もうとしてやがる。だから止めに行く。どけ。
Your crazy soldier friends are about to go on a rampage in Katase. I'm gonna stop them before they get there. Move!
そいつは大事ですね。いやはや、そんなことになっちまったんですか。
That is serious. Didn't know things were so bad.
これで最後だ。どけよ。
Move. This is the last time I'll say it.
嫌だ。
And if I
と
say
申し
no,
ましたら。
てめえを殺していく。反町一蔵。
then I'll kill you. Sorry, Machi Ichizo.
さて、ジョーは人を殺したことが終わりで
Begging your pardon, but have you ever killed a man?
ねえよ。
Hell no.
それで殺せるんですか
So what makes you think you can?
首を折れば死ぬだろう。
If I
違う
break
か
your neck, you'll die, right? And she's just like, I'll just break your neck. Seems reasonable. He's like, that checks out. That does check out. My dude, thank you for the drink. Yeah, that is something worth laughing about.
そうでなきゃいけね
That's what I'm looking for.
え。やっぱりあんたは、私が見込んだ通りのお人だ。
You're exactly the person I
あや
hoped
め
you'd
の
be,
嬢さん。
Miss Ayane.
もう、怖い怖い。
You sure can stare a man down.
邪魔はしませんよ。けど、どうするおつもりで。
I'll get out of your way, but first, how do you reckon to stop them?
相手は軍隊。拳一つで止められるってもんでもないでしょ。
You're up against tanks and infantry. Bare hands ain't gonna cut it.
やってみなけりゃわからね
Won't know until I try.
やらなくてもわかりませんかい？
Did you ever heard of an educated guess?
私に分かってるのは一個だけだ。そう言って何も
She's
しないで
like,
グ
fuck
ズ
it,
グ
I'll
ズしてた
figure it
ら
out.
絶
There's
対
only
に
one
誰
thing
も
I know
助
for
けられな
sure.
い。
There will be blood, Chad? Oh, sorry, wrong series. If I do nothing, everyone else dies. I mean, it also featured power armored guys, right?
やってみれば助けられるかもしれない。
If
だ
I
から
go,
行
I
くん
might,
だ。
I might be able to save someone, so I'm going.
ジョーさん、
Young lady,
じゃあな。
don't let me see you again.
力がご入り用ですかい？
Might you be in need of power?
相手が軍隊でも蹴散らせる力、今欲しいんじ
I
ゃ
can
ないで
see
す
you
か？
are. You need a weapon that can handle an army.
何を言い出す気だ。
Get to
て
the
めえは
point, asshole.
この灯台は私もキャンプに使ってたところでしてね。ちょうどあるんですよ。
Well, I was using this lighthouse as my base, you see, and it just so happens I got what you need.
ここに。私に任されてる作戦のための道具
A little piece of my operation.
もっとも、エイコラ担いできた後に気づいたんですがね。
Been trying to get rid of this
こ
one
いつ
for a
は
while
そんな
now.
ことには使いやしない代物でした。
It's a little
ま
picky
ず
about who
主を
wears
選
it.
びますんで。
She's finally getting her tsurugi? Here we go. Here we go.
けれど、
But I'm thinking it's you. If it's you, then maybe
鎧びつ
a tsurugi. I mean, I think she knows that guy was giving out tsurugi like candy to people, right? I mean, he just walks up to people. Like, people just find tsurugi around him because he's giving them away. So why not?
どういうつもりだ。
The hell is this?
このチンピラはね、ジョー。あんたみたいな人間が好きなんで。
This humble gangster is a big fan of your kind.
それだけですよ。
Call it a token of my affection.
私はてめえのようなのが嫌いだ。虫が走ってヘドが出る。
Makes me sick just looking at you.
だからこそで。
And that's exactly why I'm such a fan.
変態かよ。
You're some kind of pervert? That's exactly what it sounds like.
どうします？私はともかく、こいつはジョーの好みだと思うんですがね。
This baby's not my style, but I reckon it'll fit like a glove.
こいつがあれば戦える。軍隊とも。罪もない女子供を殺しちまうような呪われた武者とも。
With this, you can fight any enemy you please, even an army, or perhaps a cursed Musha who kills innocent kids.
信じられねえよ。
Why should I trust you?
だいたい
If you think I'm
て
gonna...
めえの施しなんぞ。え？なんだ？ヤゲンタじいさんの形見が。
Well, you can't stick. It's glowing?
待ちかねたぞ。
At last, I've found you.
我が主、
My
綾
master.
音一条殿。
Ayane Ichijo.
恩義は問われた。この世に正義はありや否や。
Once, you asked if there's justice in this world.
お答えつかまつる。我らがこの世の正義とならん。
I answer you thus, we shall become the justice you seek. What? It's a beetle.
行けジョー。正義をやってこい。
Off you go, girl. Show us what heroes are made of. I guess he gets... No long intro sequence, no trip to his lighthouse. He's just like, up, have fun, bye. I legit just gave it to her before she even finished asking questions. I assume it just like flew out because it sensed her or some shit, but still. Katase's in a state of panic. No one's sleeping peacefully tonight, not with Enoshima suddenly on their doorstep. One might expect a rogue island's collision to inflict casualties on par with any earthquake or tsunami, but it seems there was very little actual damage. Yet another impossible fact to add weight to the terror. The police who arrive in response to the disaster are in no better shape than the locals. They have to deal with their own confusion before they can think about addressing the chaos. By the time Police Commissioner Kikuchi gets his less disciplined men under control and reaches the new border between Katase and Enoshima, he finds the key to unlocking not the key to unlocking this mystery, but the sound of an even greater disaster approaching. Treaded vehicles and booted footsteps mingled with inhuman whoops and roars. His experience on the battlefield tells him what this is, a unit on the march. And not any unit, but one that's for some reason gone completely berserk, a pack of hungry wolves who will stop at nothing to rape, loot, and kill. Even if they're few in number, their combined firepower is enough to reduce all of Katase to rubble, and they'll have no trouble eroding a few dozen policemen as a warm-up. It's her. Ginseigo. The commissioner has no way of knowing what happened on Enoshima, but at least it seems to have ended with Kageaki hitting the jackpot. Ginseigo appeared and drove whatever forces were on the island mad. That's the only explanation. While the commissioner himself was largely convinced the latter was a GHQ trap, he never for 1 second wrote off the possibility Ginseigo might appear. He did believe, however, that anything which might happen, Ginseigo related or otherwise, would be confined to the island and not spill over to threaten the populace of Katase. He was a fool. No one could have predicted that Enoshima would become a peninsula, but he should have known something like this, something impossible, might send everything to hell. Kageaki reports directly to him, and he knows what Ginseigo is capable of. His fists tremble, but regret is, alas, always too late. And now the commissioner sees them, the disquieted mutters at his back tell him his men see them too. Men in vehicles, flesh and steel, black upon black upon black. They howl and cry in ghastly disarray. Absent order, but focused on a single purpose. They come like the juggernaut, the chariot of Krishna, that sends men to paradise by crushing them beneath its wheels. The anticipation of slaughter blazes in their eyes. The commissioner orders his men into formation, knowing, as he does, the futility of resistance. No effort of theirs can stop this tide. At best, they might reduce 100,000 casualties to a mere 900, or 1,000 casualties to a mere 900. You might as well try to put out a burning building with a glass of water. The only choice, having failed to prepare a liquid nitrogen. As he struggles to keep his men from breaking, Commissioner Kikuchi swallows his shame and steels his resolve. He's ready. Ready for 1,000 men to die for his incompetence. Wait, the city is only 1,000 people? That's barely anyone. How the hell did they get the police out here so fast? Take it. Now he and his brother officers will put their lives on the line that a few lucky souls might make it through the night. No one will thank them or even remember. So be it. What? Flashes of azure obliterate the darkness. And a moment later, the tanks leading the way crumble, their treads sliced to ribbons. The soldiers howl with hunger, their advance blocked by the immobilized vehicles. And then the azure strikes them too. Now every magazine, ammo belt, and bandolier falls to the earth, cut free from the weapon or man who is carrying it. You'd have to cut all the guns in half. Bullets are loaded into magazines. Bullets are loaded from the magazine into the gun, and there's usually one in the barrel, right? The soldiers roar in frustration and rage as any predator would who has lost his fangs, and more men leap from the dead tanks to join their furious chorus.
Stop
whining or next it's your heads. At the voice from above, all goes silent. They've lost their reason and are ruled only by their lusts, yet they obey a command which they cannot understand. Why? Out of awe. As the man-eating tiger bows to the saint or the unicorn kneels before the purest of maidens, even the most ravenous of beasts is powerless before the majesty of the divine. That's the color, the shape. He's seen them before in an ancient scroll kept at Hachiman's shrine. That's the finest armor to be ever to be forged, unparalleled by Ganjian, Mo Ye, and Long Yuan. Interesting. Wait a minute. Those are the name of sword souls. And also Chinese characters, but that's not important. It truly is Sword Souls, the visual novel. No mortal that you look upon the first under heaven?
世に鬼あれば鬼を断つ。
Where there are demons, I slay them?
世に
Doshugoro.
悪あれば悪を断つ。
Where there's evil, I smite it. Full Metal Providence.
剣の断り、ここにあり。
Mine is the way of the sword. Masamune. Ready to rock. A final slash like a bolt of lightning, and Enoshima is an island once more. Ichijo route confirmed. We got Masamune. Ready to rock. Okay. It's done. I've killed again.
惜しいな。
So close. I hear a series of sharp reports overhead, and 5 dragoons drop from the sky like wing-cut birds. Each dead before they hit the ground, head severed or body cloven in two.
光る。
あと一手早ければな。今回の戯れは俺の勝ちだ、影焼。
A second faster and you would have made it. This round goes to me, Kageaki. I look up and there she is, high in the sky with the moon at her back. She hangs there motionless, translucent wings still, hovering as only Ginseigo can. This awkward moment where we prove to the entire city that GHQ is like trying to kill everyone. You know how GHQ is like we don't want anyone thinking they're heroes? And it would be like a PR disaster for Muramasa to be around? They kind of fucked up here. Because if all the policemen and the townsfolk say that the GHQ army tried to land and kill them all, that'd be pretty bad PR for GHQ, right? Like, a company of GHQ soldiers went mad and tried to kill everyone in the city. Would have been really bad PR. Instantly failing their mission for the longest time. And would probably, but potentially even drive people into the Rokuhara's arms. Damn. She hangs there motionless, translucent wings still, hovering as only Ginseigo can.
初めてだな。楽しみだ。さて、どんな姿で生まれてくるだろう。
Oh, this is the first. How exciting! I wonder what sort of child she'll be. Mido? Ginseigo's voice quivers with anticipation, and Muramasa's quivers with terror. I need no further hints. Our world to face the Major's corpse. He's dead. He must be, and his armor too. But why does it glow? Why does it ripple? No. I was too late, and as I look on in horror, the tsurugi implodes, swallowing itself, dead flesh and all, from within. What was I saying about GHQ? Apparently all the soldiers are GHQ and not Rokuhara. So it would have been terrible for GHQ's plan, the Major's plan, and you know, its superior's plan, which was to like induce terror of Rokuhara, induce the terror of the current authority Rokuhara, so that the people will willingly accept GHQ control. It'd look really bad for them if a bunch of berserk soldiers went in and started murdering civilians. It would have been like a huge PR loss for GHQ if they actually did anything. Which would have been kind of funny, where they like screwed themselves up because Ginseigo made them go mad. Yeah, but it's not clear that that's a thing. But like, the news still reports could potentially just be that the GHQ soldiers shot everyone. Or all the GHQ soldiers went berserk. That would still like keep them from being popular, right? Or from getting any popularity. Yeah, normal people don't know that much about Ginseigo. Nobody knows that Ginseigo drives people insane. They'd only see the British killing people. Even if they saw silver, they just know that Ginseigo usually kills everyone. But I mean, if it's GHQ soldiers doing all the killing, that's a different story, right? Right, if people know the legend of Ginseigo, but they only know that Ginseigo kills people. They don't know that Ginseigo causes people to go crazy. So the news media reports the news media will report, because it's under Rokuhara control and they don't like them, it'll probably just report that like GHQ troops fire on civilians in the area, killing everyone or something. It would have been like really bad PR. Lucky for them, Someone stepped in to save everybody. So, like a piece of origami, it folds itself into a tiny silver ball. And then it expands, unfolding with the same hideous sounds. Arms and legs stretch out in luxurious languor. A head lifts, a back rears, and soon it's assumed once more a human shape. It's smaller than before, however, and its appearance is wholly changed. Hair of shimmering jet, features glowing with innocence, and last but not least, armor of silver. The silver girl turns and looks upon my face. She smiles brightly, ever so brightly, as though nothing in the world could make her happier. That's only 2. Are we getting the mantra again?
良い娘だ。申し分ない。
A fine daughter, I couldn't have asked for better.
お前にはグレーワンドの名を与えよう。さあ、歌え。
I name you Grey Wand. Now sing.
この母と共に高き戦歌を。
Sing with your mother, the hymn of battle. No! No! He's not in a good mood. This isn't what he wanted. This isn't what he wanted at all. A new voice joins with Ginseigo's, and the strength of the mind-bending waves doubles. I'm immune, of course. Dragoons are dead, and Major Gargant is no more, but that leaves... No. Inside the cage, young Haya Takeshi lays into his siblings with a raptor's ferocity. Raving and howling, he tears at their flesh, pulls at their entrails, gnaws at their bones. The sound of feasting fills my ears.
俺みたいな子供でもお構いなしってとこは安いかやばいかどっちかだからな。難しいよ。それでもガキどもは食わせてやらなきゃならねえ。
The only places that don't ask questions either pay like dirt or come with some kind of risk. It's tough, but I gotta keep the kids fed somehow, right? You gotta keep yourself fed too, apparently. He's a little bit hungry. And then his brothers and sisters join in his revelry. With fists, feet, teeth, and nails, they fall upon one another, both predator and prey. Stop. Stop. My voice is flat. Oh, it's stuck. My voice is flat, empty. Perhaps I'm not speaking at all. Either way, they continue. The bars of their cage run slick with blood. Life of 100 years will hear the serenade of fire and steel. A life of 7 days glimmers bright in the silence and dark. Listen, all who live, and I will sing your praises. Offer forth the malice concealed by weary smiles. Listen, all who live, and I will pray for your souls. Rest upon the joy which hatred and prejudice have birthed. Ginseigo sings her blessings upon them, and the silver girl matches her tune. The harmony of their voices fills the night, and the frenzy inside the cage mounts in fervor. The Haya children are awash in crimson, little red dolls cut up and thrown together, indistinguishable from one from the other. I have to stop them. This can't go on. Kill her. Kill the monster. All will be well. Oh, they're not the same. This is a monster, an enemy, no more. Kill it now.
可愛らしいだろう、影焼。
Isn't she lovely, Kageaki?
俺とお前の卵から生まれた娘だ。
Of course she is. This is our daughter. Daughter? Daughter? My daughter? Wait, I even have this choice? What? I'm curious what happens when I click she is my daughter. I'm actually curious. I'm curious what happens if I acknowledge her. How bad does the route go if I click yes? How badly does it go? Do I click Can I click yes? Can I click yes? Fuck it. I'm gonna click yes. How bad? Let's find out how bad things go. I probably should formally save. Is there a formal save in the event this is an instant L? Yeah, sure. Let's just slap this in 3. She is my daughter. Let's do it. I'll agree with him. She's right. They are the same. Wait, we say she is my daughter. And she says she's right. They are the same. Interesting. So does that mean that it's Hikaru, right? Hold up. Can I scroll up? Da 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 da. Where does it's Hikaru, right? Oh, I missed it. No yeet sound effect. Yeah. Alright. I think it's Hikaru. Does that mean Hikaru is his daughter? Does that mean Hikaru is his daughter? Isn't she lovely, Kageyaki? Of course she is. This is our daughter. Daughter, my daughter. She's my daughter. She's right. They are the same. Does that mean Hikaru is his daughter? Interesting. Okay. And with that recognition, the curse takes hold. I have, after all, just slain Major Gargant. I raise my blade and attack the girl, driven by the desire to hold her in my arms. Her eyes stare up at me in shock. I run my blade through her heart. Why, her eyes ask? Why do you kill me? I love you so much. Don't you love me too? Don't you love me, Daddy?
Daemon.
He's silent. Wow, that's the easiest fucking out. Are you fucking kidding me? What the that's so easy. That's such an easy out. He kills an agent of Ginseigo as the curse trigger. Wow. Easy mode, guys. Oh man, we gotta kill someone. We gotta kill someone because we're cursed. Kills agent of Ginseigo. Wow, that was hard. Fucking expensive, wasn't it? Alright. I cut into her innocent face, the face I can't help but adore. She's still desperate. She reaches out to me, desperate for my affection. I love you.
Urusai.
Stop talking. Love me.
Shine.
Die. Please love me. It doesn't even resist. Well, so much for Ginseigo's agents being a threat, considering they count as good when he kills them. Alright. That's gotta be like a really easy out. Okay, so you kill Ginseigo and you get like no repercussions and it negates repercussions. Easy mode, guys. I thought Ginseigo was supposed to be like super fucking dangerous because anything it made would be any of the eggs that hatch would be a copy of it. We'll see how this goes. Please love me.
Shine.
Die. Please.
Shine.
Die.
Shine.
Die.
Shine.
Die. 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 He didn't kill Ginseigo. I know, but the egg, birthing the eggs, was supposed to make copies of Ginseigo, which is why it was so scary that she could do that. But the fact that they're just like very killable enemies that he can just hack to pieces with no consequences is ridiculous. Now there's like no downside. He killed someone who turned into the egg anyway, and he just killed them again as the fucking payment. That's so easy. Alright. As blood pools around my feet, I look to the sky and ready my sword. One more remains. Ginseigo's laughing like a victorious conqueror.
愉快愉快見せてもらったぞ影焼
A fine performance, Kageyaki.
見事
Good.
ななんとも素晴らしい愛しっぷりだ
Never seen a more stirring display of love.
Ginseigo.
You forced me to kill this thing, didn't you? You enjoyed it, didn't you? You're not Hikaru. You're a demon. He rises into the night as graceful as ever, a silver fish in a lake of darkness. You're not getting away. I give chase. My wings and joints shriek in protest, but no matter, they only need to see me through one more strike. One strike, that's all I ask. One strike against the silver demon. Too fast. Too fast, too far to reach. But I press on, for as long as the silver shines, I'll pursue it to the ends of the earth if I must. I'll catch you, Ginseigo. I'll take you by the wing, drag you down, and kill you, I swear it. You're next, Ginseigo. I'll kill you too. I'll kill you. That's your wish. Though she's already kilometers above me, I hear her voice as if whispered in my ear. Look, Kageaki, look upon Hikaru. When you're ready to sheath your blade in my flesh, the silver star twinkles. I'll be there to accept your love. How lewd. Her armor vanishes, and for a single moment, I see. Promise me, Kageaki. Promise to go. The silver star mounts the summit of heaven. She's beyond my reach now. I've failed once more. That's her world, the Hall of the Moon, where she reigns as queen, unchallenged and inviolate. Soft and low, the silver Musha speaks of her. Yoshino Onryu Kasenreiho, adapted from Tsukikake. Ladybug comment. I think if she said falling down, Ladybug. But I guess that didn't sound cool enough. Was that supposed to be Sorimachi? It's the Nodachi's Habaki. Yes, he did just say that. So I'm like, well, we don't need a translation.
Oh.
I see.
Mido.
Ito.
あなたは本当にあれを撃てる?
Can you really defeat that monster?
やらねば。
I must.
やらねば
I have
な
no
らないの
choice.
だ。
Well, she's giving us gravity control powers with each of the eggs, right? So eventually we'll have most of her powers. Or an equal amount and be ready to kill her. That seems to be what she's doing, right? Giving us the power piecemeal to defeat her? Chapter 4, The Mighty. Finished. Well, that was a fun chapter. He managed to sort of get a kill with no consequences. I wonder if this is practice between Ichijo and Kageaki, maybe? I mean, I can hear the fight. I can hear the fight going on in the background. And of course it says when two trained Musha engage in single combat, the exhaust from their engines paints a figure 8, a Futawa in the sky. Hence why Musha combat's known as the Futawa Gakari. Definitely sounds like a training session where she's learning how to fight from Kageaki. But I'm afraid we're not going to dig into that one tonight. This chapter's been really good, but I think it's time to wrap things up. So in this chapter, we had I think we had a fun time. We explored an island, which I didn't think we'd do like the full combat and everything right away. I was thinking, you know, explore the island, and then like second time we'd have like the combat scene, you know, where they inevitably get caught and the island gets wrecked or some shit, and they have a big fight. It started with the island almost immediately, and like they didn't do any stealth. The fight started. No sneaking in, investigating the base, just boom, right to the fight. No build-up. Interesting choice. But hey, it is what it is. I don't have a problem with it because it kept the thing entertaining. And that was a hell of a long fight. Holy crap. We fought the giant mecha. It's actually a mecha, right? I guess it'd be a power armor and a power armor. Maybe if you really want to do that, but it's a mecha at this point. He's clearly not directly moving his limbs for it. So they built a mecha. We fought the mecha. We fought a duel with Sorimachi, a really good one too. Then we went in and fought against this general guy who died in like 1 second. Yeah, not exactly the best swordsman I've ever seen. I was expecting the armor to be half decent, and he's just like, boom, dead, one shot, the end. Not even like needing to use his special, it's just one shot. Then the egg hatched, and I thought the egg hatch would be like a big deal because he hyped it up as making copies of Ginseigo, and it just makes a target that he can easily cut down in like 5 seconds. Yeah, which was like, I mean, the Ginseigo copy dying in 1 second was a bit disappointing. Kind of like makes the tension of eggs hatching absurdly low. What, you gonna make another 2 more eggs? Okay. Go for it. He'll just cut him down. Like, it wasn't even like a long fight. I get that like maybe in terms of pacing, it would have been way too fucking long to have like some epic duel between them. And it was clearly like stretching the limits of belief for what he could continue to do after he was supposedly exhausted and worn out. But the fact that like we had a bit of build up for this GH2 guy who promptly died in one line, and then the egg hatch, which there was build up from the previous chapter, which instantly died, kind of like makes it feel Ginseigo feel less threatening. I know they made Ginseigo really scary, and presumably that's like the point we have to reach, but given that our character gains gravity powers every time he collects these eggs, it seems like we're just gonna eventually catch them and then presumably duel Ginseigo with Ginseigo's powers and win. Kill the eggs, save Ichijo, good stuff. I was just expecting like the eggs to be more of a problem. They seem like they're, I guess they create something that could make things scary, but it's not like they even, like the amplified power didn't even turn everyone in the city to, like the city that's now right next door, the amplified power they're singing didn't even kill anyone, didn't even drive the people in the city crazy, as far as we know. They didn't show us anything. So it's not like a colossal disaster if there's 2 of them or something, like exponential power growth. It's like, it's just another one that they decide to sing. And yeah, some kids died in front of us. That was unfortunate, but like, I was thinking it'd be way more dangerous to have Ginseigo around, but considering how easy it was to kill that egg, I mean, why not just wait for it to hatch and then cut it down there? If he was to cut it down at if he was at full strength, he could have cut it down way faster, right? Yeah, the best part of the chapter was when Minato calls the Immelmann turn fantasy power comparable to magic. Yeah, maybe parking a car is a miracle by that standard. An aircraft maneuver that's known to be possible must be fucking magic. Anyway, it's like, what else? What else is known to be possible? Parallel parking. My god, the legendary maneuver. The parallel park. Impossible. He's so close to the curb. He might hit the other car. He made it. A perfect parallel park. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's kind of funny. But the chapter itself was good. I mean, I had a good time reading it. Like, sure, a couple questions here and there that make like the threat of I mean, Ginseigo's really strong, but like, the plausibility of Ginseigo doing too much seems a little questionable, especially when he's getting power. And the threat of the egg seems relatively muted. Now, but you know, Ginseigo's pretty strong still, so they did that. A net neutral, perhaps, or a net, well, actually a net negative. I don't know. I don't think Ginseigo's is threatening to the world now, because it's like, yeah, Ginseigo's strong, but like, it's plausible someone could beat them. Our character probably can beat one Ginseigo, and it can clearly mangle the eggs she makes, so I'm not as worried, right? Good chapter. Might have reduced the threat of Ginseigo, but I'm not worried too much. At this point, the story's still really good, so like, why worry? Like, I'm still having fun. Is Ginseigo less scary? Yeah, but like, the story's still good. Yeah, you don't like Minato? I actually think Minato's fine. I think he's a bit of a dumbass, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. I think a lot of visual novel protagonists are dumbasses, but I also think they're dumbasses intentionally sometimes, because it's like, well, you're trying to make a realistic, believable person, you also have to make them not as smart or smarter than the reader, right? Because you want the reader to be able to think about what they're doing and maybe think of something better or something comparable. And it's really hard to write someone smart, because writing someone smart means that the person writing has to be that smart or smarter. So I'm having a good time. Yeah, BN protagonists are all dumbasses. You don't like Minato as a character for his character? I mean, I think he has some really dumb philosophies, but I mean, that's okay. That's okay. I thought Shiro's philosophy was questionable too, so I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, it's good fun. Yeah, I'll resume this next time.